And welcome back to Scap Talk, everyone. Today's episode, we'll be talking about the hardcore wipe, what's been going on, get you caught up on all the latest news, the debacles, the drama, the discourse, all the D's in Tarkov.
Yes, we've had a lot of stuff that's happened since Monday. Usually when we've got these periods where we've only been on for a couple of days between casts, there's not actually that much that's happened. But in the white periods, there's more. Especially now. Oh my goodness,
Is that the Empire
gosh,
calling?
indeed. Yeah, when we've got that small period of time between one podcast to another, it just there's usually hardly anything. But because we've got the white period, then there's stuff going through, and because the time is being gated by BSG, that's kind of creating these sort of moments of this next thing's unlocked or whatever, rather than it being like a natural process as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the main thing that we should start with is just to frame the context around what happened. So when we were here on Monday, I think so we'd started, we'd had a couple of days. It was from Thursday the 10th through to the 14th, and we had level 1 traders that whole time. Hold on, I'm gonna have to take this.
Yeah, sure, no problem. All right, so picking up, we had level 1 traders still had the same quests that we had from that period. However, on the the 16th? So I guess that was Wednesday. Tarkov new balancing changes. Previously, in-game tasks from Therapist, Prapper, and Jaeger have been unlocked. Level 2 for Jaeger, Prapper, and Therapist traders have been opened up, reaching the corresponding conditions. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. The pacing's kind of weird for me because it's like from an outsider looking in.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I was just talking about how, Wednesday they released some of the traders because correct. See, you're gonna have to fill in some of the gaps, but it's just weird that they're doing this. This was literally what I was just saying was how they're from an outsider looking in. It's just very weird how stuff comes in these bits. You're getting Therapist, Prapper, and Jaeger tasks unlocked for the next tier, I guess, if you will. But you're not getting the full package of everyone. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, and no one really knows. I guess it's sort of logical in some way, but nobody really knew exactly what was coming at what point. Because we had level 1 traders and no quests. Then we had some quests up until a certain point. So then it's okay, what's coming next? Do we get all level 2 traders, or do you just get one of them, or do we get more tasks? But the traders are staying still. No one really knew exactly what was going to happen, and we ended up. So I thought we were just going to get them all in one go. To be honest, I didn't think BSG would be that nuanced about it. So I focused on getting skier up, and then when they brought through level 2 traders, it was it's Prapple, Therapist, and Jaeger, and I was like, oh man, okay, that actually really sucks. Yeah, because like we said last time, the main issue with getting to the, I'm sure people on standard probably have a different opinion of this because of the 0.2 rep, right? There's only so many quests that you can do, so it makes it quite hard. Some of the quests were really annoying early on, and they gate. It's like a tree, and sometimes you can finish one quest, and then you get 5 other quests, something like that. So until you do that one, you can't get anything else. So yeah, the rep is still maybe a problem for standard people, but if you're on EOD or on Herd, which a lot of people are, the issue is the money spent. It ends up being that as the big problem. So normally there are somewhere around 2 million to get to level 2 traders, something like that. And yeah, it's a bit annoying because I got Skier pretty much up there, and then I suddenly had to find 1.7 million for Jaeger, 2.2 million for Prapor. Therapist is easy because you just buy the Scout Dragon box from us, so it's no big deal. But yeah, they released Therapist and Jaeger, and then about 15 minutes later, they then released Prapor as well. I don't know why they didn't just do it all in one go. And there's a whole bunch of other quests as well now that you can do. So I think that came a little bit later, but yeah, so you can now do bad rep evidence and more quests like that. I think you can go down healthcare privacy with Therapist. I don't know if you can get the thick items case yet. I don't know if anybody's been all the way down the line to see, but we've definitely got more stuff. So that kind of opened out some more interesting options, definitely for weapons, to be honest, rather than anything else. Because on Prapor, you've got, you can buy, I know it's expensive, but you can buy the AKM, you can buy the VSK, you can buy AK-74s, and then the Keda, and you can buy the most in Sniper too. So there's lots of things that you can now get over there that previously were blocked. You had to find them specific raid or do some like weird tech, like turning a Vepo into an AKM in the hideout, something along those lines. And so, but it's interesting, without having Skier, Peacekeeper, or Ragman or Mechanic, actually, it blocks off a lot of stuff that you normally would have quite early. Because Skier has some early scopes, Peacekeepers obviously got some like bits and pieces of ammo and some different guns. Ragman, once you get to Ragman 2, I'm quite glad they've left Ragman 2, because even now he's at level 1, and he is really the catalyst for the whole game devolving into Class 4 armor simulator.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
So that's quite decent. I mean, we'll talk about the issues with with other traders in a moment. But yeah, for the time being, it's actually felt kind of alright. Like, you have to sort of sweat and strain to get the money spent with those guys. Like, I ended up, lots of people have come and asked me, like, what's the most efficient way of leveling up the traders' money spent. I mean, I think for the next one, obviously it's not open yet, but for level 3, it's like it's another 1.3 million with Jaeger. It's another like 3 million with Prapor. Like, it's a lot of money spent. And so you either farm up money, which is hard to do in the first place in the actual base game, and then just buy and sell items from the trader. But like, that feels really bad. That you didn't feel great before. You spent quite a lot of money doing that previously.
Yeah.
But at least if you sold, it's like what we said last week. If you sell something for, or buy something from the trader for 7 and sell it for 4, you lose 3 every time, but you gain 11, sold
trader rep
price or whatever.
But you're right.
Whereas
true.
now, if you like buy something for 8 and sell it for 2, you only gain 10, but you lose like 6 in the middle, right? So you lose twice as much money, and you actually gain slightly less rep. So it feels extra difficult. Like, I spent a whole stream just like farming up cash and building up. We got well over 1 million ruble, and then I ended up like moving,
farming raw
bought
rubles
guns from Jaeger and then went over to Prapor. I can't hear you for some reason.
Oh, really?
I don't. Is this me?
Give me a second.
Sorry, I suddenly just realised I can't actually hear you.
Oh, I think it's me for some reason. Okay.
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you now.
How about now? No.
I can't hear you now.
Okay, it's something to do
Now I
with
can
my
hear you.
software. God, I hate it. I hate it. Anyways. Actually, yeah, let me just change it.
Are we good?
Yeah, let me just change it to the other method. That way you're guaranteed to hear me. That's so weird. I don't Anyways. Are you actually farming raw cash?
So this is where the difficulty comes in, because half of the items that you want and need, they don't sell for very much.
Right.
So, like, bolts and nuts and spare metal parts and all
But
this
they
kind
go
of stuff.
towards the hideout.
They don't really, but they go towards the hideout. They don't sell for much, or like they're things that you know that you need. So it's tempting to just pick up all that stuff, but you have to keep quite a close eye on what you actually do need, because like, my stash is just completely rammed. It's everybody's stash is completely full, because it's a bit like last wipe, but crazy, because last wipe we had like a month and a half without the flea or something along those lines, and everyone just bought 1 million scav junk boxes. But this wipe, the scav junk boxes are 2 million, and you can't make the money to, like, your stash is full before you've made the money to buy a scav junk box.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really insane. So yeah, I have actually been picking up items literally before the cash sale value, which is insane. Like, we've never done that in this game, really. I mean, you do it for the flea, I suppose. You do it for the flea, but those items are usually like disproportionately expensive on the flea market, or you sell it. You pick up a hose and it's going to net you 200k, something like that.
Or they're like valuables.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and so the trader prices kind of pale in comparison. It's almost like the hideout meta previously with the flea market. All the prices were like up here. So you're like, oh, the hideout stuff's expensive, but if I find hideout things, it's expensive. But that means that the trader prices are kind of negligible. I can buy whatever I want from the traders whenever, because a hose is like an entire kit on its own. It's your 1-2 slot item. Whereas this wipe, it's so different because the traders are so pricey, but then at the same time, the items, because there's no flea market, like the traders are really stingy with what they buy anyway, and then you're having to rely entirely on selling that stuff to them. So you're picking up things like TNT bricks, which are one of the better ones because they're 15k. But even things like Tarka food, which is like 8 or 9,000 rubles. It's just like the other stuff just doesn't sell for very much. Like I was browsing through earlier, and it's if you sell a full Salewa to therapist, it's like 8,400 rubles for a full
It's
Salewa.
crazy.
So that's 4,200 rubles a slot, which absolutely sucks, right? Like
Yeah,
an
it's
AFAC is a lot
awful.
better. So I've got a full AFAC in my stash at the moment, and that's 19k. So that's like
That's
that's
pretty
like a
good.
banging item. That's a
Wow,
really
that
really good
doesn't
item
seem
right
that
now.
much different. What's the stock standard price? Is it like
I think it's
30K?
yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay.
They've always been quite good, AFACs and
Yeah.
IFACs. So those items are really
Hmm.
decent, but they're one of the few items that you probably would have sold to the traders if you think about it. Like back in the day, muscle memory, you go, I'll probably sell that to therapists. I'm not sure if I can be bothered to put it up. Also, partly because a lot of the time they're like 397 durability or whatever, and so people have got them filtered out, and so that they don't end up selling. Like D fuel is like 19k, green batteries are 11, but there's a lot of stuff that just sucks really. Like most things are under 10k. So if you can hit 10k per slot, you're doing really well. Like Poxram is like 8,700, for example. So that combined with the Scav junk box change, the fact that that's so expensive, and
It's
I still
weird.
can't believe they didn't put in the incremental hideout. It's like so annoying that they didn't do that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because it sounds almost like some items are disproportionately devalued versus others. Like, isn't PoxyRam like just under 10K when you sell it to therapists? Or is it
It is
just
now, yeah.
at
It's like 9,000 now.
now? I thought before it was like that.
Now it was 12, I think.
Okay. All right.
I think so. I think it was like 12ish, and now it's 8.7,
You might be right.
8.7k.
Okay. So probably not true then. I mean, it's just
Everything's sort of
foggy.
down by 30%, 20% ish,
Yeah. Okay.
roughly. It's
Now
kind of the
you
deal.
said what was the last thing you said about partial turn-ins? Was that what you were talking about?
It's such a shame they didn't do partial turn-ins for this wipe because that would have been
It's like
so
Giga.
valuable. Well,
You're getting
yes,
ahead.
getting
A little
ahead
bit
of
of a
myself.
teaser
Okay,
there.
all right, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll discuss that in a second then. Um, yes, so that's level 2 traders. We're still at that point at the moment for the mainstay of them. We've got Skier, Peacekeeper Mechanic, and Ragman at level 1 still, which I think is probably still quite good.
Now,
Um,
does the mechanic, is that like an unintentional thing? Because I know mechanic 2 is used for like generator or like workbench. There's like some thing there that you gotta like do to get the stuff.
yeah, so that means we're still blocked in the hideout by quite a significant way.
Yeah.
The workbench you can't get to level 2, which means you can't get lots of other modules up to level 2. There's lots of things that are stuck,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is probably, well, whether it's intentional or not, I mean, it's part of the game's core design,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't just race through and do a load of things. I'm nearly there, I think, on modules that you can upgrade without doing that. I think the last one is probably Laboratory 2. That is actually really hard to do now because drills have always been tricky. They were last wipe, but this wipe you also need 4 sewing kits, and all the items are doubled, right? So you need to find twice as many. I think you can make lots of this stuff you can make in the workbench too, but we don't have access to it because of mechanics. It makes it like extra annoying. But sewing kits this wipe are like really, really, really hard to find. Some people have got lucky and found them,
Really?
but I have 2, I think, and you need 4 for the laboratory, and I can't. I don't know whether you're supposed to get them from. To be honest, I think you normally find sewing kits. You do find them in various places, but I feel like I see them quite a lot as loose loot, and some of the
Mm-hmm.
like medical loose loot seems to be lower this wipe. It's really weird, like the mixture of looting, because some loot feels like there's loot everywhere, some loot feels like there's not much. Like marked rooms felt really awful, and now they made those good, and then people are now using some of the arena keys, and those seem really awful. So it's very weird. The looting in this wipe is very strange. And I think they just tweak numbers, and then just like stuff happens out on the
Yeah.
surface.
Yeah.
Maybe VSG doesn't even really know what's going on. Okay, so from there we then had our next trader update, which surprisingly, well, I mean, not necessarily surprisingly, but surprisingly was good old Ref. Now, the surprising thing about this is not necessarily the fact that Ref was unlocked, but it's the fact that Ref got jumped from not being open at all to level 2 in one jump. And that's the thing that I think is the most surprising part about it. Because previous to that, as I said, Ref was actually completely closed. And that meant that you could move money and cases from Arena to the base game, but you couldn't spend any GP coins or Lega medals on Ref. Now that they've opened him up, you have level 1 or 2, depending on exactly where you're at. And as a reminder again, if you don't have Arena, you can still get Ref. There are a bunch of quests, there's a whole quest line in the base game that you can get to a certain point for. And it's possible to get, Data Container if you whiz through the quest line. Like we've talked about this before. You get 3 days. Once you do balancing part 1, you get a 3-day arena pass. So you technically can go through and get all those task lines if you've got some free time. But that means that you do have Ref level 1 open. You can find GP coins in safes. You do get some GP coins for doing the actual tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And at level 1, Ref is not honestly all that bad. There's a couple of different pieces. There's an OPSKS with an ACOG. There's a 105 with one of the HHS like flip up, flip down things. Those are both suppressed, so they're quite, they're kind of good, I guess, because of the suppressor. You've got the AKM, which is unsuppressed with an ACOG, and then an MPX, which is suppressed as well. And then outside of that, you've got a bit of night vision, a couple of class 3 armors, and a class 3 helmet. Like, it's not OP, but probably the best thing on there is the key tool. Honestly, it's probably the best thing. But they've
because that can
up
go
the
in your
prices
container,
on.
right? I mean, I would have to assume so. Yeah.
Yeah. So key tools and things can go in your container right now. And the key tool is 4x4, so it's big. It's a lot of people have kind of resorted to the Gingy wallet, the Gingy keychain, sorry, because that's like 2x2, so it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But the key tool is really the one you want.
Mm-hmm.
They have increased the prices a lot of stuff. So on the wiki, I think there's just so many changes that the wiki guys have just and it's also its own wipe, so they've sort of just preserved the wiki as is, and I've just put a big notice up saying things are different for the hardcore wipe, because literally they've changed all the values. So you could see there that that's 65 GP coins for a key tool. Yeah, it is now 121.
Okay.
The guns there, so it was 28 for the OPSKS and 32 for the AK 105. That's now 46 and 56. So these ones have kind of doubled. They haven't, I don't know exactly how they did this, because it's not like they just 2x everything. Like some of them are more, some of them are less. Like if you look at actually, I guess the helmet's not too bad. That helmet, the level 3 helmet used to be 5 and now it's 16. So that one's tripled, but the guns doubled, key tools doubled. There's another one on level 2 that's just crazy. There's one piece of gear that doesn't show up on there, and I did actually use this one time. So my stance still at the moment, I mean, I don't know when I'm gonna break the seal. I'm not sure, but I've not transferred over anything from Arena as of yet, because I just personally don't want to. I want to experience the wipe as is without getting an influx of loads of stuff. I mean, at some point it's going to be it will just be pointless, because there's going to be so much of this gear in the game that it's going to be whatever, I'm handicapping myself for no real reason here. But there's one piece of gear that I did use, because you get the GP coins in Tarkov for doing refs quests, so I've been using those. And there's a Karasa N in green that you can get from the battle pass that you can't buy normally.
Oh.
So, and the reason why I bought that was because
what's the
I've been
again?
It's the blue one with the neck protection.
So not the
other.
Oh,
the other one.
Yeah. I know
what.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So it's that, but in olive.
Gotcha.
And that one's currently 31 GP coins. But the value of the Karasa is it takes uppy plates both front and back. So a lot of the whenever I found a class 4 armor, I've picked it up and then I've removed the back plate and then tried to replace it with a class 3, because you can do the press armor craft in the laboratory level 1, which takes 2 fabrics and a front plate from a press, and it creates a press armor. But that gives you a class 3 back plate for free, basically. Yeah. So I've been taking out the front plates from these, the back plates from these things, and adding a class 3 in the back. So I've got I had an extra few class 4 front plates, but I had nowhere to put them, because the only things I could buy is soft armors or the press vest, which takes only the diamond. So I
Right.
was like, oh, I actually don't have any way to. I don't have any carriers to put this plate in. So I bought the Karasa N using Ref's GPs from his quest line in the base game, so that I could at least just like put a class 4 in the front. So that's sort of where I'm at. Like I'm using some of these bits, but I don't think Ref level 1 is broken, and it's so weird. I mean, I literally just did a whole video about this. So if you, yeah, my full thoughts on it are like in that vid, but it's just so odd to me that they didn't think that this would be enough. You know, it's still kind of it's still, yeah, it's useful. There's still kind of handy stuff. You can get suppressors, you can get the key tool. Like it would have been fine if they just gave Ref level 1, but they didn't. They did Ref level 2, and level
Oh,
2
I didn't know that.
it's really a big step up in power. Now, there's also a bifurcation here in the community too. So if you have arena, even if you're on standard, and so standard account players who've bought arena, you have 0 ref rep when you start, like all the other traders. Everyone else gets 0.2 to begin with. Ref level 2 is 0.25 rep. If you completed all your dailies in arena, that's 8 days with 3 daily quests each. So that's 24. You complete 1 weekly, you've got like 26, 27, something like that. So you could have got to the rep required even on standard. If you don't have arena, obviously you can still access ref, but if you don't have arena, you're stuck at level 1, because the only way to get level 2 ref without arena is to complete the task line in game, which you can only do once ref was unlocked, because we didn't have any of his quests. So when ref opened, people without arena could only get ref 1. People with arena, technically all of us, including standard guys, could have ref 2 as soon as he opened without even doing any of his quests. And Ref 2 is just a loss. Like I've always argued that Ref is kind of like half a trader level higher than the other traders of the same category. So Ref 1 is like, you know, you can't buy those suppressors from the other traders. So Ref is like trader level 1.5 kind of thing. You know, trader Ref 2 is a bit like trader level 2.5, something along those lines. Because if you look through what he's got, you know, the gun selection looks like mechanics gun selection, except you don't have to do a barter. You can just buy these things.
Yeah.
So, you know, MCX, there's a P90, there's an MP7. You
M4
can't really buy the ammo for these things.
SAI.
So it's
Seems
sort of
pretty
whatever.
RD.
Yeah, so the RD is quite good because you can fill that with ammo for scavs. The SR25 is
Like,
really good.
That's just a meta RD. That's all that is. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Like I don't think you can buy the rail yet to put on the vertical foregrip. I don't think, because you need.
you're
Oh no,
right.
actually no. Sorry,
Isn't
I
it
tell a lie.
M-Lock?
It's an M-Lock 4. It's an M-Lock 4.1. So you can. So you could just slap a vertical foregrip straight on that thing, even if you just put a CAC VFG on it. So it's like 62 ergo and 72 vertical recoil.
I
like
mean,
it's insane.
yeah, that's
so
criminal.
this gun's really good. This gun's really good. But the prices have gone up like quite a bit on these too. So the RD, I mean, we won't go through them, but the RD is now 76 GP coins, for example. So it's,
I mean, how
it's quite a few.
like was
you know,
that
a weekly gets you 90. Yeah, what's the context? So when ref unlocked, I'd done all my dailies and I'd done my first weekly, but I hadn't done the second one. I had 570 GP coins total. With the extra weekly, if I'd finished that at the time, I would have had maybe 660, I think. That would be like the total theoretical maximum you could have had when ref opened. So it's a lot. You could technically have bought 9 of these. But the thing is, if you're using ref a lot, you will run out of GPs pretty quickly. Because of the just because of the price, especially if you're using them for armor as well. And that's kind of where I think it's even worse, because guns are sort of whatever, right? But in EFT, it's the bullets that is what kills you. And he doesn't really have very good bullets. The best thing he probably has is TCWSP, which is 85 damage and 30 pen. You know, you put that in the SR25, and yeah, that's gonna hurt. But it's 11 GP coins now for a pack of 20. So it's what, half a GP coin per shot.
Didn't he? Was that maybe that was Ref 3? Didn't he used to have M80 or like M56A1 or something? I remember there being some debacle.
He does have M80. He used to have that on Ref 2, I think. Now that's on Ref 3.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff got pushed up kind of by community demand.
Yeah.
So the ammo kind of sucks, right? It's like 545 FMJ, PS12, some random P90 ammo that no one ever uses, and TCWSP. So the ammo's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And the guns are not necessarily that big of a deal.
But you can't, I mean, you say that, but like you just like physically don't have access to that ammo at this stage unless you have ref.
With TCW, yeah.
The P90 ammo, the PS12. Not confident about the P90 ammo, but surely the PS12.
Maybe, yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think you really even have access to the Ash, and he doesn't give you access to the Ash, so it's like I don't really care, to be honest. It's like it's always been a bit random, that one. It's always been a bit random. But anyway, the thing that is the most, well, the two parts that are like even more powerful. So if you scroll down, there's two sections to this really. I mean, I guess we could do, well, we could do whichever order. There's all the cases, so all the cases appear on Ref 2, and there's a lot of them. Now, this is not
Wait, what is this
necessarily an
key
issue. I
one?
actually don't. Yeah, it's a key case. It's the new key case that
Was it?
came
Is it
out last
all?
wipe.
Oh, I don't. I thought this was a hideout thing. I don't recall this.
No,
Does Therapist sell it
no,
also?
she does. She sells it
Okay.
actually at level 1 for
Okay, I do
two
remember
Digi
this actually.
keychains,
Yeah,
two Willer's wallets, and a tank battery, or at level 2 for 917k, so nearly a mil.
I do remember this. Yeah, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. But you could just get that off ref for 83 GPs. Better than spending a mil. That's quite good value if you're just looking purely at value.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can get right now the ammo case, the meds case, grenade case, key case, ballistic plate case, and the magazine case from ref, which is not a problem, really, to be honest. It's just stash upgrade stuff, right? It's a scav junk box in a different form. It's a stash upgrade in different form, which we'll talk about in a sec. But I think the thing about it is that it's hard to get these things. You can't currently get the ammo box anywhere. The med case is a really annoying barter from Therapist. It like
Mm-hmm.
takes billion syringes, loads of blood sets. The key case is nearly a million rubles. The grenade case is only doable by doing a craft in level 2 lavatory, which is really hard to get to right now. That's like a real grind, and then you have to have all the stuff for it. Same with the mag case. That's also a level 2 lavatory craft, which you can get to, right? You can actually get to that. But why bother doing all of that stuff when you can just play your dailies and then just press go go go, right? Because these things are like one-off upgrades. These things should be these are big, and in a hardcore wipe, this makes a really big difference. You're trying to keep all the stuff because they didn't do the partial hand in for the hideout yet. You know, this was sort of building up to something here, so we'll park that for a second. Then the other thing that is probably more problematic in my opinion is the armor at the end. So
Yeah.
there's two class 4 armors. There's the OTV and the ANA M2. They both got 2 plates. So if you're canny with it, you can spread that out amongst 4 different armors. And my issue with this, and this is why I think he's kind of like trade level 2.5, skipping from level 0 to level 2 immediately is just weird. We don't have Ragman open yet at level 2. So you can't get class 4 armor anywhere on the traders. There's no way. There's no barters or anything. Like you have to get it in raids. You have to kill the bosses. You have to find a scav with it on. You have to find it in a cache. But now you can just like press go and just get it from ref. And yeah, I know you'll run out. You know, you'll run out if you're buying an SR25 and you're buying the max amount of TCWSP, and then you buy yourself an ANA M2. You'll know, and you die 6 raids in a row. Like, sure, you're going to run out of GPs. Like, I understand that, but this is more about access. It's not about, you know, those 6 raids. You had armors that no one else can buy. If you haven't done the dailies, if you haven't got ref, you know, you can't buy those things.
You
And
haven't put in the money and then putting in the work.
ref should be an alternative. Ref should be like a side grade for a lot of things. Like it's okay to have different stuff. Like I quite like, you know, like the Karasa one. Like, yeah, you can't buy the Karasa, but that gives you different options. If you're thinking about it, it's like, oh, I could use a different set of plates, but they're not necessarily better per se. It's just something different, something more to think about. That's like good content in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The ref level 2 armors, it just hops ref above all the others. You know, even with the gun builds, with the ammo you can get, with the cases, with the armor, I think it's just too strong. And it's not necessarily a problem with ref 2. It's a problem with ordering. You know, at this point we should have gone probably something along the lines of skier, peacekeeper, mechanic, ragman, and then ref 2 from ref 1. That would have been balanced and that would have made sense. But there's lots of stuff that is happening now, and it's a bit like when people talk about the flea kind of negating progression. Like there's lots of systems in the base game of Tarkov that you don't need to interact with, like a lot of the crafts, a lot of the barters. You just don't need to bother with them if you've got the flea market. Right now, with the flea market, it's turned off. We're finding people are doing barters for stuff because it's so expensive from the traders. Like this, it's actually, you know, there's loads of systems in the game that are actually working now. I'm like looking at things, being like, well, I could either buy a headset for 45,000 rubles, which is the M32. So you can buy the GSSH cheaper, but if you want the M32s with the ambient, suppressions, it's not like wind in your ears constantly. Then, well, I guess I'm kind of undermining my own argument here. But anyway, look, there's like a 3 toilet barter for the GSSHs, for example. And so it's like, okay, well, rather than using the cash for it, if I sold those toilet papers, they'd be worth nothing, like 3k each or something. But I can
Right.
buy an item of value
Yeah.
with that. It's more efficient for me to go and find the items to do the barters than it is for me
Right.
to find the items to sell for the cash to buy what I like. That's the way it
I
should
think
be.
it
Like, that's
should be like
working.
that. Yeah. Because then it
That's actually
becomes
working.
much more interesting gameplay where it's like you're excited to find toilet paper not because it's slot per value, but because it's like now it's like utility. I can, it's again
Yeah.
assembling Exodia. I love to do it. You get the one toilet paper, you just need the other 2 toilet papers to get.
Yeah, and there's a craft in the laboratory to do normal paper into toilet papers.
Yeah.
So you're like, there's like lots of ways to do it, and it's cool. So you're like looking through stuff, and you're like, oh, well, this is a craft that turns into a barter item. This is a barter item in and of itself. This one is for a task, but it's later, so I'm going to hold this. This one is an item that sells to the traders for cash, because you still need cash for some stuff. It's not useful for anything other than selling for money, but I'm going to take that. It's like you're trying to like solve this like simultaneous equation while you're picking up loot, being which world do I leave? Oh, I know I need that for the hideout, but that's not going to do anything for me right now, and my stash is
Right.
full. So
Yeah.
I can't even store it, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the issue I'm having now, is that I'm like trying to keep all these things to try to max the progression out, but without because I'm not selling them, because I'm keeping them, then I don't have any money, so I can't buy the scav junk boxes, so I can't buy another scav, so then I can't store anything. It's like weird catch-22. Anyway, so on Ref you've got these two. You can basically buy these like class 4 armors there, and I think it's just too much of a supplement, and it's just weird that they added it in this way rather than just going through
Particularly
in a
in this
sensible
way. Yeah, because
progress.
like you point
Yeah,
out, you don't get like Ragman level 2, for example. Like that's like a little bit
yeah.
more comfortable because at least you can
Hmm.
get that rig, right?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of quests that come with. I mean, it depends what they do with the quests, but there's a whole bunch of quests that you do with Ragman that allow you to buy various class 4 armors.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know how expensive. To be honest, I'm actually interested in how expensive they're going to be. They're probably going to be quite a lot, because they were quite a lot before. So the 6B13 from Ragman, okay, yeah, it's like 100k now. So it's it's a lot. It is a lot. The one that I'm sort of holding out for is the Thor armor barter, because that one's
What's 100k?
the 6B13 Flora class 4 armor,
Oh, okay.
the
I
old
never saw.
scabby one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to unlock that. That's on Ragman 2, and I think you have to do a quest. Can't remember. There's a whole bunch
I
of
think
different
you're right.
class 4s that you do a quest from. Right? There's like
Mm-hmm.
you have to do like ballet lover and like all the various
Yeah.
streets things for him, and then you unlock the Thor armor barter. You unlock. Do you unlock one of the Yule rigs? I think it's the Yule, and I think it's the 6B13. I forget now. But one of all those stuff, they're all locked at the moment, so you can't get access to them right now. But you can just buy these things and circumvent the progression a bit on Ref, which is a bit unfortunate.
Which kind of, I mean, we're gonna get to the next thing, but you know, just to reiterate, as you said, it does feel a little odd in the manner that he did it, you know. And from like a player perspective, it's almost like it's a bit at odds with the idea of the wipe, a hardcore wipe. A little bit, because if you don't have arena, you're kind of missing out. So there's a little bit imbalance there. So like, but from business side of view, it's maybe it's maybe not so at odds. It's maybe a little bit in favor, because then the customer's incentivized to make a purchase. But it's not. Here's the thing for me. It's not like this in particular. The ref thing. It's not the levels of like something like ABI where like you're just straight up exchanging USD for in-game currency rubles, and I mean it's really not to that level.
Of course.
But it's in the same Venn diagram or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like in there. It's just not as big or not as close to the center or whatever.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I think if you're doing, as I said, if all they needed to do was just rearrange this, and I honestly don't even know whether it's like, I think some of it's thought about. Some of it I don't think it's necessarily a pernicious scheme to, abuse the player base, or whatever. Like I'm sure a sort of business thought process in there at some point, but the ordering, I just think PSG. I mean, PSG just don't think
It could
about
be an
these things
innocent
very well
mistake.
normally.
Yeah. I mean, it could genuinely be an innocent mistake. I think they would have probably corrected by now, as I assume they've gotten lots of feedback.
Yeah, I mean, it's just as soon as they did it, right? Twitter was full of people being like, "Well, the
Yeah.
hardcore wipe's over," kind of thing.
Escape from credit card edition.
Yeah, and that's probably that's an overreaction.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, someone having the ability to buy class 4 armor, like,
You
it's not,
you still have
it
to
doesn't
put
ruin the
in.
wipe.
Yeah. Yes. But they got to put in the hours on Arena to grind it out, to get the coins or whatever. And it's not like a permanent upgrade. Like, I mean, it's full loot PvP. I mean, it is. I agree. I think it is. Some of these takes are like very, but that's. I
It's
mean,
very
that's how.
extreme.
But that's how Tarkov. Tarkov's a very extreme, polarizing game. You die, you lose all your
Yeah.
stuff, you smash your keyboard.
Yeah, you see the guys wearing the unheard cloak and battle pass armor, and you throw your computer out through the window.
Yeah, that's a good meme. I lost because he had
But
the Gucci skin.
yeah, I was distracted by his flapping dress. So like it's not the end of the world, but the thing that's just frustrating about it, right? And this is the thing for me, it's more frustrating because there's no reason for it to be like this. I don't think putting ref level 2 before Ragman level 2 is going to sell them any more arena copies. I just can't believe that that's true, right? So it's like,
I mean, maybe a little bit, but nothing that's gonna actually, you know what I mean, like break any numbers, or you know what I mean. It's like gotta be like 1 to 2%.
Yeah.
Like it's inconsequential.
Yeah, just do it in the order that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's frustrating. Just do it in the order that makes sense. You can still have him in there. It's still fine. It's a supplement to the rest of the game. Okay, I get it. Like, that's all right. But
Right.
and it gives people more options. It's like, people really love to hate on Arena as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always said I quite enjoy it. It's fine. I quite like it. I like having the dailies there. I think it's fun. It's good practice for me. There's a bit of an incentive to do it. You can buy other and different things. I enjoyed the battle pass. I'd pay for one. Whatever. It's okay. I'm seriously not a Arena hater, but just just don't mess. Like, they gotta remember that the different tierings. There's a friction there. There's a sort of an anxiety and angst in the community about the different tierings and the inequality between the different players. And I think a lot of players have campaigned to close the gap. At least I have for sure, to close that gap over time. And it's just when they kind of step the other direction, it's just like, well, why, guys? Like, why are you doing this? You're just like undermining your own credibility. You probably put as many people off from actually upgrading and buying as you do, whatever, minor number of people that you actually get to convince to go over there and play. I don't know. Yeah.
New balancing changes. Hardcore wipe released as a normal wipe with some minor inconvenience involved. Yeah, that's kind of which. I mean, this is the more egregious thing if we go to the next topic here, which is BSG has. I mean, this one feels a lot more dirtier to me. They've added more stash lines. So if you previously bought the maximum, was it like 42 or 46, or am I way off base here? The previous max.
I think it was 28.
Okay, so now there's an additional 28.
But 28 is quite a lot. I think that's a full screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Oh, well, a full screen is 12. So it's like, before it was like 2 full pages and another 4 lines was the maximum extra that you could buy. So it's quite a lot.
So this is, I mean, gosh, how much is? Because is it $2 a line? Take that one out of context.
It's definitely, Tarkov is definitely the drug of choice. That's for sure. I don't know, something like that. What is it? Is it say 40? What's that on there? $42? Is that for 28 lines?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Whatever.
I can't remember. I think 28 is like a full standard account stash, right?
Yeah, this is weird to me. It's just, I don't know. It's like, when you put it into context, like, it's the hardcore wipe, everyone is struggling. Like, you double the hideout requirements, you make the junk box, like, all items are more expensive, they sell for less, ergo, like, you're gonna have a hard time funding yourself a junk box. and you need 256 ES lamps. So like it's you know what I mean? Like you're constantly hoarding stuff. I mean, you've always hoarded stuff, and now you're like struggling. And so now they're like, hey guys, resolution.
Yep.
Proposition.
Yes, they created the problem and sold you the solution.
It's so diabolical and genius. But I mean, it just like the timing, the optics of it just seems so bad. Like, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine. It's interesting too because they didn't like out. Well, I guess it is kind of there because this came up. This came out during. No, actually, this came out on the 15th. Okay, I thought because I remember the Hawaiian shirt stuff was like fresh when they were talking about or they like announced
Yeah.
the patch stuff. So maybe this came a little bit later, which is just like even you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just this for me, like the ref stuff, I feel like got way more heat than probably was deserved. Um Whereas like I feel like this one's getting a lot less heat just from what I'm seeing. But to me it's a
Yes.
way more like disgusting feeling. Like as you put it perfectly, they created the problem and sold you the solution. It is genius. Nikita's
And
like, this is the best swipe ever. We're doing this every way.
yeah,
Long live
jump up to
hardcore.
5 million. Yeah. So I'm sort of the other way around on this one. I think the timing makes me feel slightly uncomfortable, but the principle of it, I'm not sure if I particularly care. One sort of odd thing about this is, I mean, I don't actually know the full pricing scheme, so it's kind of hard for me to. If you've just let's put it this way: if you've decided that you're never going to buy Unheard, for example, if you decide that you're never going to do that, this does give players on standard accounts more options to make a bigger stash without upgrading to another edition, right? You can be on standard like a couple of well, maybe 6 months ago we had a look at all the different editions, and it's kind of weird these days because you almost need to decide that you're going to go to Unheard or you're just not going to or you're not going to ever, because if you buy, for example, if you buy Arena as standard, well, you get it with Unheard, so you either need to go to Unheard
Mm.
or don't and buy Arena. And so this sort of gives standard players like some extra stash. So you can get up to like 56 extra lines on top, which is then going to be what's that going to be? Standards get 30, I think. So you're going to end up with like 86 lines as a standard account person, which is, I think, is that like the EOD starting stash? I'm not sure. So you can almost buy yourself standard with the EOD stash without actually doing the stash upgrade. So you can technically upgrade the stash and make it bigger as well. But I think fundamentally, right, the principle of this is, for me, you can't get class 4 in the game right now.
Okay.
So rep level 2 doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
The stat lines, we've got differences between people playing Unheard Edition with the 2 lines from the Terror Group Trail with 28 lines purchasable on the website versus people who are starting the game brand new with 30 lines in standard account. Like
Rough.
that ship about stash lines and the pay to win advantage of stash lines has sailed in approximately 2017. And
Yeah.
this, because we're already there, because I had a good conversation actually with somebody who was like, having a debate in good faith with me on it, which is quite good. And I'm usually against pay to win. I'm almost always. But because but yeah, your mouth wide open, scrolling the scroll bar up to the $84 if you buy
It's
them all in one go.
$3 for every 2 lines.
$1.50 a line, a bargain.
Sorry. Finish your thought.
But
Sorry.
anyway, so the disparity between minimum stash and maximum stash is already so wide. There's such a huge diversity across the player base. It's been set in stone ever since the editions have existed, which is also forever. So in my opinion, that ship already sailed. So at this stage, having more stash, I mean, if I bought an extra 28 lines, I probably will fill it in one stream and then that'll be the end of it. I'll just have more garbage. Like, I don't think it's actually going to help necessarily. It just means that, yeah, maybe there's a few more things that I'm going to keep of the easier items that I otherwise would have sold and then just have to find again later on. But it's not like I'm going to be selling my lead X's or anything like that. I'm going to be selling things like wires and other stuff, things that are things that are craftable that I'm keeping because I can't be bothered to craft them, that kind of thing. So I like the timing is a bit like, come on guys, you put the white food, super hardcore wipes, hard to buy the junk box, there's like no money, everyone's getting completely crushed on stash space, even the people who've got big stashes already, and you didn't put the hideout incremental hand in, which people have been asking for. How difficult can that possibly be? It already exists for quests. How hard can it really be? I put through so much quality of life, didn't put in partial hideout hand in, and then they're like, hey, now you can buy an extra 20. It does
The
that does feel a
optics.
little bit icky, but as I said, like, I don't think it actually affects anything. I don't think it changes the game at all. I don't think you'd notice in any possible
I
way
get
that
what you're
there's like
saying,
that this has been added. I don't think it really changes anything.
but
That
it's
already
like,
exists in the game.
yeah,
The disparity is already humongous. They already exist too. It's like, if you disagree with it, you already have disagreed with it previously. It's
yeah.
like urinating in the sea of urine. Like, the damage is already done. It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter how many stash lines there are. They could make it infinite stash lines. You can buy. I mean, what would happen if they said, oh, you can buy as many stash lines as you like? There's no cap. It's infinite. It's just $3 a line. That's it. As many as you want. Like, would that even matter? I'm not even sure
I mean,
at this point.
probably not, but like, just, I mean, I mean, the principle of it is like, it's just pay for convenience, right? Which is like kind of like the worst kind of convenience too, because it's like almost like artificial or arbitrary convenience. It's not like you're paying for like a gun. Like, you could go grind. It like, take like an MMO or like WoW for example. You could go grind for like a 2% drop, or you could go buy it from like some dude in China who like has a bunch of bots that did it for you. You know what I mean? It's like pay for convenience. I don't want to spend the 24 hours grinding for that 2% drop. I'm just gonna go pay some dude. This is like the same thing, but instead of getting like a tangible thing, you're just getting like more space to stuff more junk that you won't be able to do anything with in the immediate time. Likely, you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
instead of you playing Tetris, this was like basically the argument how my friend sold me from standard account to EOD was like, Church, you spend more time in your stash, sorting through and like moving stuff around, then that's time you could be spending in raid to get more rubles. I'm like, oh my god, you're right. This is like just an efficiency decision, I can like do this. Um so yeah, I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. It's just like, you're absolutely
No,
right
I mean,
though. Like, this is
yeah.
we've it's really nothing new under the sun. Like the EOD versus standard. There's always been a disparity there in more ways than just stash lines. But I did want to say, so I'm logged in on my standard account, and I wanted to see. Okay, I kind of lost my. Okay, so we got a basic stash 10 by 30. So I could upgrade for $32. I could upgrade and get an increased stash size 10 by 42. So that's an extra 10. I'm assuming that's an extra 10 lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could get an extra 10 lines for 30. Now, what else do I get here? I get okay, an alpha container. I already got that. So
The
like,
next edition is like a scam, basically.
it is. I think you get
Is it
uh,
called Left Behind? The next one?
um oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Yeah, it is Left Behind. I mean, I don't really want to sit here and itemize the fucking. I mean, they got it. They've actually updated this. This does look
It's
nice.
good. Hmm.
They got it itemized for you, but I don't want to sit here and compare between each other. But they give you some more like starter kit to go lose, right? Just a little bit more. Or I could buy for $33. I could buy 22 stash lines. I don't know. I'd have to like really sit here and do the maths.
Mm.
To get a really good idea. But that's so much. That makes it so much more complicated if you're a customer. I don't know. Anyways, $3 for 2 lines seems like a lot. Like, but I don't know. I'm just happy I'm an EOD player, and I will stick with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. yeah, it's just So I mean, I haven't bought them yet. Am I going to? I don't know. I did buy the first set, but at the moment I'm in the complete hiatus on like all purchases and all transfers. So I'm just playing the thing. I'm happy with my account the way it is. I'm not getting any stuff. I'm not doing any ref transfers or anything like that. I'm just chilling here.
What's this gonna cost you? Like 35, 36 euros for 28?
Probably, yeah, for like, yeah.
Man, it's just I don't know. It just I guess it is like another standard account, basically. You gain like another standard account stash size, which
You
says a
eat a standard
lot.
account soul and absorb it into your own. Timmy dies every time you buy the stash expansion.
Oh my god. Yeah. I don't know. I'd be curious if you do end up pulling the trigger, because then I want to know, like, was it worth it? Did it
It's
literally
almost certainly
take you
not going
one
to be
raid
worth it.
to fill it up instantly?
I mean, let's put it this way, right? So as I said, yeah, I mean, I can't count up the lines, but I've got EOD +2 +28, whatever that is.
I
Is
think
EOD
that's
68? 68 +2 +28. So I've got
unheard.
98 lines.
Is it called unheard? Unhinged? Unhinged
Yeah.
is 72.
Yeah,
So
and I think EOD is I'm pretty sure EOD is 68. I think so.
okay.
So I think Unheard gets 4 more. But I mean, yeah, my stash is already enormous. So I've got, and what is it, 10 wide? So I've got 980 slots. And maybe I could do a bit more efficiency, but I currently have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 17 free squares. That's my current workspace in this
I mean,
hoarding wipe.
that's.
And
I guarantee you, most people are probably like at like a 3 workspace, and like one of those cells is inside a rig somewhere.
yeah. And most of my stash is just rigs. And I have one scav junk box. I don't have loads yet. I've
Oh
got just
wow.
one. But but again, it's because I spent a million rubles just getting Jaeger and Peacekeeper up to level 2 by buying and selling crap from them, because it takes so much money to do it. You just hemorrhage money doing it if you want to. Like, I tried to do it organically, but it was just taking too long, and I need to. I have the unique situation of the fact that I need to make a bloody video about the damn thing. So I was just like, well, I just got to spend the money to get them up like now. Otherwise, I can't make the thing. I'm not like taking screenshots of people in Discord. I did that for some stuff when it first, when some of the things first came through. But I'm just like, yeah, that's not really tenable. So that's the deal. Yeah, I don't know. The stash thing is a bit crazy, but the thing is, there's been ways to mitigate this, and I've been. I just think BSG need to just buff standard. Like, there's so many more items in the game. The double hideout requirements this wipe is absolutely brutal, especially without them being able to be handed in. The increased price of the cases, the fact that you can get cases ref, which basically means you can't get it if you don't have arena. It's like the stash thing, because I went through like the full analysis in one of my other videos about like what's better and what's worse, and I think we talked about it a bit. But the special slots are a positive for standard. The secure container changes are actually they're negative for standard, but they're more negative for people with the other cases, so it actually closes the gap slightly. The initial gear without insurance actually matters less. The trader rep matters less because of the traders being unlocked later. So standard is actually closer to EOD and Unheard than ever in this wipe, except for the stash, which is like 10 times worse. And as things progress, it's getting worse and worse. And I think it's the one thing that needs to be, I don't know, it needs to be like fixed in some way. Like they should have given people, I guess you have the ability to buy it. So that's the deal, right? It's like, okay, you can fund BSG and do the thing. Like, a BSG has to make money too, running servers and whatever. They have a business model that is fundamentally flawed at the end of the day, right? They like pay most of their player base paid a one-time fee for a product which they expect to be serviced into perpetuity. And there's those two like monetary flows, like the actual the way that it functions, they don't match up, right? BSG has to pay money for servers and staff and development and whatever every year, whereas if you buy EOD 8 years ago or whatever and never pay them anymore, well, if everybody did that, like, BSG would just close and Tarkov would end. So we do have to be realistic about that too. Obviously, they should do more cosmetics and things. because of where we are, I don't necessarily condone the stash space thing, but because of where we are, I don't think it matters. It's another way to fund themselves, and people will actually buy that because it does have an impact psychologically, even though it doesn't necessarily have that much impact on the game. And yes, it's pay for convenience, which is basically secondhand pay to win. Is always the way that I think about these things. It's like, are things pay to win or not? Well, imagine everything else is the same. You're on EOD, but you've got a 30 space stash, and then you're on EOD, but you've got a 100 space or 100 line stash. If you met yourself, how across you clone yourself and simulate yourself across 1,000 Tarkov wipes, and you meet yourself, an average you with 30 stash lines and an average you with 100 stash lines, how skewed is the win rate away from 50% because of the gear enhancement that you've got from having those extra stash lines? So it might be either that you've got the lavatory upgraded earlier and you have a piece of gear that you would otherwise, like one version of yourself had to buy the packer, but the other version can do the craft for the press armor. It's like there's like it manifests itself in intricate and little niche ways that you can never notice in the game, but it does matter. So it is still pay to convenience. It's still pay to win, or you have more time because you spent less time sorting your stash, so you played more raids. Simply, it's like it manifests itself in ways that are impossible to actually quantify, but it does have an impact. It's not, the impact is not zero. Like if you fought yourself 1,000 times over the simulated metaverse that we've created of yourself playing Tarkov infinitely, which sounds like actual hell, but
that's the sixth layer of hell.
Yeah, the win rate between of your one account versus the other is it's not perfectly even. There is a skew depending on how far these mechanics take you. You see, so it is there. How subtle it is, I don't know, but that's my kind of take on this at the moment, because the stash line space it's already such a mess. This doesn't incrementally add anything. It doesn't change anything. It just allows BST to fund themselves a bit more. So overall, I'm like okay about it. The timing feels weird, but I'm more bothered about a class 4 on ref coming at the wrong time.
Really?
I mean, than I am about the stash space.
I could see that, I guess. I mean, yeah. I think they both hold their own merit in their own different ways.
Yeah. You could equally be enraged about both.
Yeah.
Everyone's well within their right to be mad about both things.
Yeah.
If they want to be.
I mean, I don't know why we're complaining about pay to win. I mean, this stuff isn't even pay to win. I mean, I go to hotcheats.com and that stuff, let me tell you, that stuff is real pay to win, baby.
Talking about cheaters, to be fair, I do think that, I mean, some people still complaining about hate cheaters, blah, blah, blah. I think it depends on what region you're in. But I would say that the no flea experience does lend itself to less cheaters, I think. I mean, the flea market is
interesting.
It is a fast track to RMT. Like rubles are just so efficient. You can buy things off other players to transfer them money. If you do it in a sensible way, that's hard to detect. Like the way, and then once players who have bought the RMT have the cash, all the items to sell to make the cash, whatever it might be, then they're in a situation where they can kind of buy anything. So it's a very efficient. There's a reason why we have money in the first place, right? It's like efficient transfer of one item to another person. If instead you have to go and do a carry raid and all of the things that you're going to get from them are they're physical items that could be in your stash, it's like way less efficient from a sort of density perspective. Right. It's just much more like, yeah, they can go and farm your bitcoins and stuff, but things sell to the traders for a lot less this wipe. And I feel like from trying to read through the like obviously we have no data or anything, but trying to read through what people have said, it feels like people are not running into cheaters as often as they have done. And the last wipe, that was the same at the beginning. And as soon as the flea market opened, I personally had like the worst 2 weeks of Tarkov ever after the flea market opened. And I don't normally notice cheaters, and it was absolutely horrendous for a full fortnight. Whereas this wipe, it feels very, very good. Yeah. So this wipe, it feels really good. And I've seen other people who, talk about this stuff in a balanced way, also agreeing, and not necessarily just like me and Hayes, because we sort of play similarly and we tend to not see that many cheaters, but other people who are kind of more chatty as well, also saying I haven't seen as many. There are still going to be some, of course, that's always the way, especially with the big streamers, they get targeted. But I don't know, it just feels a lot better.
I could see that though, because if you think about it, your average person, if I'll just use the personal excerpt from one of my friends in my group a long time ago. Basically, they had like a crazy work schedule, and they got a late start to the wipe, like a week or so, and maybe even more. And we were just like grinding nonstop, so they felt really far left behind. So they went and bought RMT back in the day, and they just the way they thought about it was like, this is I'm not cheating. I'm just like do an exchange of services to like pay for convenience, just through the outside channels type of thing. And so my point there is like I feel like the average person that's gonna engage in something in that territory, in that realm, that's like not, it's like breaking TOS, but you're not like rage hacking, you know what I mean? The aimbotting type stuff. It's like that's probably a little bit more palatable, I guess, for like their own way of like engaging in something like that, versus like just full
Yeah.
on rage hacking. And so if you're doing a wipe where you basically make RMT a lot more lucrative from like a business side, then if you're operating as a business, you're probably gonna like, I guess you could try to adapt, but if your bottom line's affected, you're probably gonna have to like switch um clients, I guess, like go, I don't know, Final Fantasy 10 or whatever. I don't know what other games people do this type of stuff for, but you know what I mean. So like I could see the market being affected, and therefore you would see less cheaters. I mean, maybe you could argue you might see an increase in rage hackers. So, people be like, well, I can't RMT, but I'm just gonna go buy the real deal, But I think when you take what I said earlier, it's like I feel like that's a lot larger of a leap for a person to make versus like, oh, I'm just gonna go buy, 1,000,000 rubles off, I don't know, silkroad.gamer.com or whatever. You know what I
You could
mean?
see a player easily being like, well, I could get that gear by upgrading into Unheard. Like, the VSU already has that in the game. I could just get the package and get M80 and
I mean,
SR25 and MP7.
do you really get that stuff? Shut the front door. No
No, Unheard
shot.
Edition. Unheard Edition is still stupid. It's still awful. I still hate it. There's a bubbling rage inside about anytime anybody mentions that edition. I try not to talk
Let me
about it on
see
stream because
this.
it makes me really angry, and I do keep a lid on it. But I still hate Unheard Edition with a great passion. You get a scav junk box, you get the cultist circle, you get an ammo case, you get an SR25, you get M80, you get an MP7. It's outrageous. Not that it matters. The starting gear, like, who cares, right? The starting gear
Oh
doesn't
my
matter that much.
god, you do
We
get
get 5601 as
230
well.
of M80?
Oh, yeah,
That's crazy. Dude. I mean, yeah,
it's
that
like
is
that
that
kit
is
was
fairly
designed to delete
substantial.
EOD players, right? Because like EOD gets 2 class 4 armors or something, but like
Yeah, you get,
Unheard has the ammo to just delete you on day one.
damn, I thought you were being facetious when you made that statement, but I actually think you might be right.
I was
This
being
is
truthful.
this is
I
actually,
wasn't even exaggerating.
well, I meant like you said something to the fact that like, oh yeah, they're not just gonna go out and do RMT. Now they're just gonna go straight to BSG, which I feel like you're honestly, I don't know if you're wrong. Like this 230 M80. I mean, when I looked at RMT back in the day, it was like like an ammo case of like 762 by 39 BP.
Hmm.
And so that's like 60 times like 39 or something. I don't remember. Like that's a lot. But 230 of M80, that's still a lot. And those things only stack up to 40. So like that's at least five, no wait. Yeah, 5 lines? Because 200, yeah, no wait. That's at
Well, it's
least
like eight
10
eight stacks, I
10
guess.
10 lines or 10 stacks. Sorry. Wait, no, because it's
Yeah,
40. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
stop
like
doing
eight. It's
math.
like eight. 7 and a bit.
I'm
Maybe.
gonna stop.
But yeah, you get the 5681
I mean,
and
that's
whatever. But yeah, I mean,
criminal.
you can go to BSG to get your one, so it's okay.
That's criminal. That's actually so bad. Anyways, now I'm kind of like
I don't like. I
I'm kind
genuinely
of
don't want to
just
talk about it.
yeah,
I'm serious. I'm
yeah. Let's
serious.
move
I don't want
on.
to talk about it. It makes me upset and it ruins my mood. Like
Yeah,
I'm serious.
yeah.
You know, I like.
I
Well,
feel that.
I've stopped people talking about it in chat on. I'm just like, we're not talking about Unheard again. Like we're not. Let's enjoy ourselves and let's talk about something else. Like it's so annoying. It
The
genuinely is so annoying.
unspeakable edition.
Yeah, the unhinged edition was the best description for it. Like
Yeah.
genuinely. Uh, anyway, what were we talking about before that? Yeah, because we're just talking about stash and stuff. But look, like the standard account needs to be buffed in some way, right? They need to. They've added. There's so many more items. There's
I
like loads of stuff
think.
for the hideout. They just need to give people a
Well,
bit of
see,
love there. And they're like, yeah, you can buy the lines, but
but now they're like at odds with their own business model because like if you buff that, aren't you indirectly hurting your? Like one of the things that I think gets me is with the standard account, the stash upgrades, like the requirements are ridiculous, like bonkers. Like once you get up to like, I think the first one's not too bad, but still like very expensive. Like I mean,
yeah,
I could
I
pull
think
it
it's two
up
and a half
here.
million the first one.
I
I'm not
used to
sure
have
if
a
this.
notepad of the math.
I'm not sure if the stash stuff got doubled. I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure.
I mean, the requirements really aren't that big of a deal.
Well, the
Like,
items, there's more the money.
yeah, I mean, they're yeah, exactly because it's like you just need straight up cash, right? Let's
This is going to be
see,
the old one though, so because this is not updated
right?
on the wiki.
Yeah, like okay, so this says 40 WD 40s, or sorry, 4 WD 40s. So like you need 8, you need an extra hand drill, you need 10 nails, 20 screws. I mean that's like kind of annoying, but like whatever. But like the biggest hurdle is like 2.5 million. Like, and this is the crazy part, right? So you go from your current stash size, you go from 30 rows to 40 rows, going from 1 to 2. You could take
Mhm.
that 2 million and just buy a skeptic box. Like it doesn't. It logically makes no sense, you know. And if you just go down the like, none of it makes any sense. I mean, the freaking going to the final tier is just like insane. You need like 200,000 euros. Like I think that's like 7 million or something. Like it is ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
And like I'm
The last one has always been stupid because the first one, like, yeah, you could say, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, you can have a scav junk box. That's like one way to think about it. But the scav junk box doesn't store everything, and that's the deal right, with the stash lines
that's
they
true.
do. But
That's
that's
true.
always been the thing about the final one is that it's always been better to buy item cases than it has been to buy the extra stash lines.
Which is
It
just
only is a
like
problem when you run out of stash lines to put item cases in, but it's just, yeah, it's more efficient to buy for per slot, like reroll per slot, to buy item cases than the last stash line. It shouldn't be that much. They should make them a lot cheaper.
but it's one of those things where it's not a problem because there's a solution. You know what I mean? Or there was a solution at the very least. It's like one of those.
Yeah.
It's like a poor. It's a problem for the poors. You know, like no one really cares about it because like everyone that's. I feel like I'm getting way too passionate about this. It's like you gosh darn stringers, you're so privileged with your EOD accounts. You know, you don't know how it is in the trenches if you're staying an account. You know, like anyways. Um,
But yeah, so like euros, I think right now are probably about 100. You can't buy euros at the moment because you still can't buy euros or dollars. They're about 165 rubles per euro. So 200,000 euros equivalent is about 33 million in rubles.
yeah, and not to mention, right? You need level 4 peacekeeper, level 4 ragman, which this like I don't know how you're. Even if you want to, even like just level 3 stash, you need 8.5 million rubles and ragman 3, prepper 3. Like that's it. The requirements are very, very annoying. So
Yeah.
yeah, TDLR, they really should buff standard account slash also not slash also make these requirements a lot less because it just doesn't make any good sense. Like
Yeah.
from
I
a
mean,
literal game design perspective, and
yeah.
like in every way, it doesn't make any sense. Go ahead.
At least we with 1.0 we're probably going to pull back a lot of this stuff again. I don't think it'll be as hardcore as it has been this time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be anywhere near that, honestly. I just think given the reception and the way that people are sort of talking about it in general, I think this has been a one-time test that
I mean,
BSG are doing
yeah, for
to
sure.
see what the player base has felt like. And I don't think 1.0 is going to be anything like this because with 1.0, they're going to want lots of new people to buy it, right? That's the point. If they want to suddenly launch on Steam or whatever, can't be anywhere like this. People, they're just going to get absolutely crucified. So I think this is going to be resolved by BSG for the next wave, in my opinion, with 1.0. They should do these other things absolutely anyway, but like this stuff has only become to like a really crucial pinch point because of the wipe
Exactly.
that we're in.
Yeah.
A couple of missing features and this double hideout and stuff. So I think it'll be better next time, but yeah, the whole thing's just gone weird.
Yeah, I was
The whole
just
thing's just gone
looking
weird.
to. I went into. I think oh yeah, here it is, Tarkov community. I wanted to see about the incremental stuff, and yeah, I mean they did confirm it like um 3 months ago or however many months ago back in March, and yeah, so it's just like just waiting on it. Would
It's
have
just
been
like how
nice.
hard can it?
I don't know, man. You're you're
Like
asking the
they
wrong
they
person.
have it already. They have it already for quests. Like how hard can it be?
I Giga. It, how long you been playing Tarkov and experiencing updates?
Long enough to know better than to complain about things like this.
How many times they implemented something new for it to only make the feature worse or break something else?
The search feature is still really good, by the way.
That's true. Do have
I'll
to give him
stand by
credit
that.
for where it's due. That one is very
The search
good.
feature is still really good. And you know what I found out the other day? If you're in the trader and you use the search feature, you can be in the trader with the search feature and just like be looking through and like selling stuff. So you can pull up all your food,
Oh
for example,
wow,
be
that's
sat on
really
Jaeger,
nice.
and you can move stuff into the sell box from the search
So it's like
thing.
its own separate entity detached from. That's really cool.
It's awesome. So I can look through, I've got all the food. So MREs are 7,000, Iskras are 7,700. And they can all be in different bags and boxes, and it'll just pull it out and sell it for me. It's like primo feature. Still one of the best things about this vibe. Okay. What's next?
The
We probably
final D
have.
drama.
Oh, yeah. This is confusing. This is genuinely confusing. So BSG posted the beginning of this is BSG posted a list of 2,000 people who got banned. So since July the 9th, 2025, more than 2,000 cheaters have been banned in Escape from Tarkov. And then they, as usual, which I always find quite a hilarious name and shame, they post a Google Docs spreadsheet of all the people that got banned, which is quite funny. Now there's kind of like there's two sort of sides. There's sort of two things to talk about with this. The first one, I don't know whether what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about
Doesn't
like an
matter.
individual who got banned? So there was somebody who I don't know. I tried to glean some information just by like reading, but I'm not really sure what happened. There was like a streamer who used to stream EFT who got banned on here, called Mellow GG, and there's like a bunch of people like replying to him, and he was just like, "Yeah, watch the VOD, you'll understand. I had a bad situation, blah blah all this." But then the VODs are like behind being subbed and stuff. It was all just really weird. Now apparently he's like deleted a load of his socials. It's like really, really strange. There's like Twitter's been deleted or whatever. So he basically just like couldn't admit. I don't really know. Like the obvious like surface level reading is that he really clearly was hacking, but didn't think he was for some whatever mental jump that these people get themselves into to believe that what they're doing is okay. And now has deleted everything after being caught out, despite still being unable to actually admit it, rather than just kind of going like, well, actually, well, all over replies and being like, yeah, that is my account, etc., etc. The other side to it is what Nikita said afterwards. So he said he retweeted this post about 2,000 Gs being banned, and he said that this fight is hard and never ending. My props to our team related to that. And then somebody on Twitter, Nicola Pavlovic, said, have you reconsidered kernel level anti-cheat when 1.0 comes out? And Nikita replied to this with, it's in R&D. So that sparked off a lot of conversation, I would say, in the Twitter sphere, in the Tarkov sphere, in various places. One place where specific, so Airwing retweeted the whole thread and said, this is how a language barrier can stir up all sorts of theories and assumptions. Battle is already kernel level anti-cheat. To which Nikita replied to him and said, it's not kernel level. So this has now led to like vast speculation about what exactly BSG are doing. Whether it is kernel level and Nikita's misunderstood, whether he still means something different about whether it's kernel level or not. Because from like everything that anybody seems to be able to like, I did nearly put out a post online just being like, and overnight everyone's suddenly an expert in kernel level anti cheats of Ring Zero. You know, as you, I know nothing about this stuff, right? And so do 99% of people posting online. 99.9% of people posting online know nothing about this. But from what most people are talking about, right, it's like it seems as if Battle.eye is, by the definition that most people would take, is kernel level to some extent or another, right? Like it's not the drivers themselves have to be kernel levels, whether they don't really work. Now I don't know the full differentiation between levels of invasiveness, so I'm almost certain that, again, from what I've read around and what people are saying, that the Battle.eye implementation in EFT, it doesn't boot with the PC, for example.
Oh, really?
I don't believe. So the drivers are kernel level. They have access to the system at a deep level, but they don't like boot with the computer. So it's not necessarily like ring level 0 anti-cheat. It's like, because these things are different, mean different things. And a lot of people are talking about Valorant and about how, but Valorant's very different because Valorant has had the anti-cheat built like into the game, because it's not just, these things are not just that simple of here's game and then here's anti-cheat and then you just add anti-cheat to the game. It's like you need to build your game in a way that's going to minimize anti-cheat, right? It's like the classic case is Tarkov's information. There's too much information being transferred in EFT. The most effective way to stop somebody from hacking and reading the game data is just not send them the game data. It was like in Rust, where they've just implemented that thing where if you can't see the person, they've got like a detection algorithm. If you can't see the person, the server doesn't send you the player's like positional information. If you don't have the information, then you can't read it from memory, right? That's like what a lot of these like RMI do or whatever. You have like this second card, like you can like non-destructively read the RAM and pull information out of that. That's how a lot of like the radars, but the undetectable radars, because they're not even running on the C. You're like reading memory live, but it's like the PC doesn't know it's being read, right? But you're like pulling stuff out of places that you shouldn't be able to pull it, right? And if that would be detected if it was running on the same computer, but if you've got it set up in the right way with two PCs and stuff, then you can do it without being detected. So it's not that simple, because like even back to I don't know how much of this implemented now, but like back when loading loot came through, your client had like all the loot, the whole loot on the whole map. So that was the reason why people were able to do things like fudge the grab box, F to grab item, like you do in Tarkov, to fudge the grab box so that you could just like stand in one spot and look around and loot items from any distance. So like A, there was no distance check between you and the loot, and B, every item in every box and on especially on the floor in particular. Well, I mean, the stuff on the floor is already going to be there, right? But the stuff in boxes, that was already there too. It wasn't like generated at the time or anything like that, so you knew where all the loot was. So this is the deal, right? It's like more than just anti-cheat, no anti-cheat. It's about like building it into the game, and one of the big issues with EFT is that it's just so far down the line, you can't go back and retrofit this stuff. It's like trying to make your house's foundation 2 meters deeper when the house is already built and there's people living inside. The only way to fix it is to knock the whole house down, really, or do something expensive, and like it's just not worth it. So that's the issue. Like Tarkov's always going to, it was not built like that, but so did every other FPS game on the 2025, except, and Valorant still has cheaters. They're still going battle cheaters. It still frustrates me when I see posts on people being like, so when are you going to fix the anti-cheat then? It's just like, yeah, this is not a software bug to be fixed. It's not, you're not fighting against the nature of coding here or whatever. It's like it's a war against other people equally and probably smarter doing the same thing for money.
It's basically cat and
impossible.
mouse.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's so much chat about this now, about what does Nikita mean, and how is Battle.eye implementing the game? Like, should you do something else? But just reading what Nikita has said at surface level, without necessarily like nitpicking the exact things that he said, he seems to feel that there are like more, I guess, like more privileges that they can put through onto the anti-cheat, and that they're working on. So he wouldn't have said that if they weren't. So it seems like there's maybe a more restrictive or a greater version of the anti-cheat that they're looking at the moment. I think one of the big issues with a lot of this stuff is that if you're doing detection of this, and detection of player velocities, and detection of player move positions, and detection of, like, you've got to do that every like tick, right? So like these things have an overhead as well. It's with it too. You're like trying to detect all these things. Like, oh, did that person grab the item for too far away? Did they move here? Did they move there? Did they do this? Are they outside of the bounds of the map? You know, stuff. You have to detect all that stuff constantly. It's like, it also adds to the performance overhead of the game, which on maps like Streets we're still struggling with EFT because it's already quite CPU heavy, which is where all this stuff's going to run. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know. We'll see what this means. Maybe for 1.0 they'll have something that's, you know, if you want to play like super secure boot Tarkov, whatever, you could play like special version where you have to play in a sealed, your nuclear sealed bunker, and you go and you get your Tarkov pass for the day, and you go down to a PC that's, you know, clean in a room, basement somewhere with no windows, and you get to play for 6 hours, and then you have to leave. You get blindfolded. You get the balaclava over your head before you go in. Bag over your head. You can't see where it is. Secret location. Only that way can we play without cheaters. Okie dokie. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. That is kind of where we're at. Other random stuff, I guess, with this wipe at the moment, and I think this is probably not surprising. The scav queues are just out of this world. Out of this world crazy. Not surprising. No one has any money. You sell items for nothing. You buy items for an insane value. You know, you can sell. I mean, even now, it's like, what do these guns even sell for? Like a full Vepr Hunter with a scope on it sells for 22k. And then if you want to buy a bottle of water, that's 20,500 rubles. So it's very difficult. And so a lot of players just have no cash. So a lot of people want to play scav. But if the issue is, if you're playing Streets, Interchange, Reserve, those are the main ones. I'm not sure if there's a longer scav time on the other ones. Customs used to be really big, but I think Customs has a lot of PMCs on it, so I think the scav time is kind of chilled out on there. Scav time on Factory always seems fine because the raids are really quick. They cycle around a lot. And there's lots of people playing that, so that's fine. I think Shoreline is okay.
I was gonna say,
tried it.
I would have thought it's gotten a little bit better since they added all the maps.
Yeah, you'd think that, but I just think the number of people playing Scav has just like ruined it for, like, so Streets. I can't get into Streets in under 15 minutes.
I'd be curious. I mean, yeah, I'd be curious, like, Interchange, what that would be like. That's like my go-to.
Yeah.
For like, well, it's like
Interchange is pretty
Streets. Streets, is it? Okay. Because like Streets and Customs, I always know sort of wipe, like in Reserve, just like, yeah, those things. Oops, sorry, you mic bump. You just don't queue those. So I like usually get Interchange, but yeah, you're saying it's pretty long as well.
I think that one is pretty long. Yeah, it's like it is quite long. So I typically only do Streets if I'm like doing something else. So like I've been eating dinner on stream. I think yesterday, Streets was 26 minutes. Yeah, I think that one was really, really long. So, but yeah, the shortest I've had is like 16 minutes.
It's a good way to take a break.
So like, or before, when I was setting up stream, I started with a scav on Streets. So I was like, oh, I'm probably going to be starting in about 15 minutes time.
Yeah.
So I'll boot the game up. I'll just start the queue.
Yeah.
And then I'll go and do whatever. I'll go and myself a drink, like set up the PC, you know, set up OBS, all this kind of stuff. And by the time I've like booted up and like sort of gone, hi everybody, whatever, and I'm like, hi, we're just loading into Streets. Awesome. You know, so like if you've got like dead time, you can just like leave the PC and you've got stuff to do. You can still get into Streets, which is fun. I think one of the issues with it is that you can't. I mean, this is an issue. I don't think it's necessarily a big problem actually, like stopping people from going to those maps. But you can't scav into Ground Zero right now. So Ground Zero doesn't appear to have the 2 versions. A lot of people have said that, and I think I've not been there again, but if you're above level 20, you'll still be killing like level 1 twos on there sometimes. So
Oh.
they've got rid of the separation for the hardcore wipe because it's hardcore. There's no Timmy zone. It's like you're just going to die. But the ramification of that is that you also can't scav there either, because you can only play a scav into the high level of Ground Zero, I think. So there's no column tie on Ground
Okay.
Zero. You can't scav there, and there's no separation. So there's no player scavs on Ground Zero, which is actually kind of nice. It's all PMCs and normal scavs. You
Hmm.
can get there, but you have to transit from streets. And streets takes 20 minutes
Oh,
to get into. And
that's
why would you go to Ground Zero
to troll
if you're on
Timmy's.
streets?
Oh.
Yeah, to troll Timmy's, yeah. But other than that, most people are just like looting probably on the streets. So you don't see many player scavs on Ground Zero. At least you shouldn't. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so people are playing, there's so much scav going on right now that it's very hard to get in. I've been doing factory. I haven't actually tried. And again, the issue is, again, another issue. So I've been doing the transit thing because I tried last time to do the transit thing to go from factory to customs, but there just simply weren't enough games. So even if you're in the transit, you just get stuck in the transit queue for ages. I think that might be a bit better now because people just like most people are just queuing into the map directly. However, you can't go to interchange either. So it's like, well, you can't even fix the situation by going interchange and then going to streets because interchange also takes 10 minutes to get into. Really fix it. So it's like, oh, what's the alternative? Am I going to go customs and then run all the way to the bus and then run all the way to railway and then I'm finally on streets? Like, you may as well have just waited the 20 minutes at that point. So
Yeah.
scabbing is kind of a bit restrictive in that sense that you can't go to the map you like because the queues are just super, super long. And then even once you've done it, your scab thing's not resetting. So even if your streets raid is 3 seconds in length because you die right off the bat, it's
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes before you can get another scav raid, and it takes you 20 minutes to load in. So the queue is it's effectively a 65-minute scav cooldown
Yeah. Yeah.
overall, because
Man.
if you want to play streets, that is. But you can go do factory. You can do factory straight away. But
I mean,
that
factor
was
shit
that's
away.
kind of interesting.
That's I probably would just do that and just. But see, that's the thing is like selling the gear is like you're getting scraps because it's already like. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
because the
don't
good
know.
stuff to sell is to be like med stuff and food and a few other things like streamer items, that kind of thing. Those are the ones that sell well.
Mm-hmm.
And a few tools, not many. Some of the tools are good, not all of them.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah. So it's hard to find those things on factory because usually the meds boxes are already looted.
Well,
You can do the toolboxes, but
I was just thinking you do the classic, strat spawn in and extract immediately and then just sell it all and that's like 40K. But now that's probably like 10K
yeah,
if you're
it's a bit rough.
lucky.
I've not done that much. I've got an ADAS. I'll queue it and see how much it sells for. Like there's the basic kit,
Okay. Be fun.
but and see how long it takes to queue in as well. Yeah. So scavs are are tricky. It's led to a lot of discussion about what exactly do you do. I mean, I think again this point is sort of a moot point because this wipe is a one-off, but it's led to a lot of discussion about people who are hitting rock bottom. You have to pay so much from therapist
Right.
to heal. Like a full body heal is like 35,000 rubles or
That's
something
insane.
without any status effects. So a lot of people like you're better off buying the items and healing manually in stash
Wow.
because you can buy cheeses from Fence for like 5k or something.
Mm.
Um, so it's like for 20k you can heal like a full PMC body, and usually you only have to heal half. You usually come back on half HP, so it's a lot better to do that. But yes, it's kind of like led to this thing of like, oh well, if you're going to nerf scav like this, scav's cooldown's really long, or some people end up with no money, they can't heal, they can't
Right.
scav, PMC dies straight away, or it's very difficult. And there you go, 1 minute in on factory, literally a single minute, and I'm in already, which is that's just like crazy. It's like actually crazy the difference. Yeah, and so there's like been a lot of discussion about having some kind of like PMC like standard kit, like in Dark and
Yeah.
Darker
Yeah.
games,
Telling you,
where
mac
you'd
and
have like
cheese.
yeah, mac and cheese, or some kind of M9, or the special items that have to be sold for 1 ruble. There's a chat been about that, about getting it so that people can go in and at least do something. Maybe it'll give you a full heal and some of this basic kit that can't be sold for anything. So yes, you could kind of get the heal for free, but it's kind of whatever. It'll still shove you into a raid, and you'll like have the ability to go and do something. Okay, so to fence, this kit sells for 30k.
Oh wow. That's actually very
That's
good. What
defense.
do you have? You must have an armor, a
That's a
gun.
that's an ADAR. It's a full ADAR with 5 magazines and an M32 headset with a VKBO bag, a anti-frag glasses, and and an S March Tourniquet. Most of that value is probably the ADAR, to be
Yeah, I was
honest.
gonna say it already has a lot of. It's like what 40K usually ish.
Yeah, I think ADAR's now you mean to buy
Yes, like a fully wooden one,
usually.
something like that.
Usually, yes. Yeah, not now though. Now ADARs are now 70,000 rubles or something on
Mm-hmm.
Skier.
Wow, that's pretty good. Okay,
But
I
yeah, the
mean,
queuing into factory is very, very quick. It's very, very quick.
still not a feel.
It's still not enough money to hear with therapist.
Just short.
Mm, very,
But I
very true.
mean, for a minute, well, I guess now you only have like a 48-minute scav cooldown timer.
Mine is now 39 because I have Intel 1
Oh, nice.
and a
Those
little bit of Karma. My scav Karma is 0.88
those percentages
and I've got
really
Intel Center 1.
really kicking in. Really feel it once they're cranked up that high.
Yeah. Although, bizarrely, I've ended up with this ADAR is 29 out of 60,
It's weird.
which I actually can't. I don't think I can even repair it enough to sell it to mechanic.
You 20 out of 60? Yeah, because it doesn't. Is it 60
I
or is
can't
it
remember the limit. I think it's
55?
over 60, I think.
I
I
think
don't
you're
remember.
right. I think it is over 60.
I'm going to try. It's going to cost
Don't
24k
do it.
with mechanic to
It's
repair
not
it,
worth
and I can't sell it to him, no. I can sell all the parts, I suppose,
Yeah.
for 7,000 rubles,
Wow.
and then Fence will buy, I guess Jaeger will buy the barrel, maybe? Fence will buy the lower for 2k, and Jaeger will buy the barrel for 6.5k. So there's about 18k for the ADA. Yep. Yep, it's pretty insane. The only other interesting thing that I had to talk. I got at best stream sniped the other day. I think it probably was stream sniping as opposed to anything else. I thought they were cheating to start with,
Okay.
but on reflection, it was more obvious it was a stream sniper because I typically don't get that. People don't usually do that. I've had it once before, and where it was really, really obvious. But I keep my in-game name the same as I'm just GigaBeef in game. So the issue is, so what happened was we were on streets. Well, I was on streets, and I was in the mayor's office bit. You know that section? I'm trying to think like a good name for it. It's kind of there's two like PC rooms. It's
Mm-hmm.
near the museum spawn.
I think you're talking about.
So
There's
you
like a
like
safe in there.
yeah, in
Yeah.
that sort of area. So
Yep.
I was in there, but I was on the other side. There's like the two little office rooms with the filing cabinets and some PCs in there. I was on the other side, and I heard two guys come in. One dude like went through the doors towards the safes and went inside, and I ended up jumping out. I think one of them, I can't remember exactly why. I think I ended up like, did they hear me or something? I'm not sure. But I ended up like jumping out, and I killed the first guy in the hallway. The second guy was like down in the safe room at the end, so he was like pinned in there. There was nowhere he could go. I didn't really want to just have like a horrible peak battle with him, but I thought, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll nade this guy. So I pulled my nade out and tried to smash it through the window. Well, it was an internal door, and so the Vogue just bounced straight off the door, and I was like, ah, like turned and ran, and like I didn't die, closed the door, whatever, like ran. I was just like, whatever, I'll just leave it. Like I've screwed it up, so I'll just leave it. It's fine. Like close all the doors behind me, and I went like out the building towards the kind of pub area, kind of towards like postman, the post building, that sort of thing. I
Mm-hmm.
went through the pub.
Mm-hmm.
I went out the other side of the pub, and I went as if you were going to go towards that building that you, with the million filing cabinets that you're going for therapists trying to find the population survey,
Yeah, I know something.
which is nearby. I was sort of going that way. You know, if you as you come out of the back of the pub, that building's on your right, and straight ahead there's a gate. You can sort of get over. Anyway, I ran up to that and then just like stayed there. I was like, okay, if somebody comes, I'm gonna be able to see them because they're either going to come from kind of that building or they're going to come back through the pub. So I just like waited, and then I hear like someone coming up like the side alleyway passage, and they're like scuffling around, like, acting all suspicious near to me on the other side, and then they just like nade me over the top, and I was just like, "What the hell?" So okay, well, I guess we're in a fight with this guy now. Like, there's no way he would have known I was specifically there. He couldn't have seen me. I literally made no sound. because I think I had like my hands off the keyboard. I think I was just talking to chat at that point, just being like, well, what are we going to do, and like planning where we're going to go next. So he starts to like go around the side, and he's like on the other side, just like, you know, being really, and I like start to kind of peek him, and I was just like I was like, oh, is this guy cheating? Because I didn't really think of the other guy. And I was like, is this guy cheating? He's got like, has he got wall hacks on? Whatever. Can he like see me or something?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just like fired like one green tracer, like straight past my head, kind of like a warning shot kind of thing. And I was just like, okay, well, look, I'm just gonna and see what happens. So I painkillered up, jumped across, back through the pub, back down. I just beelined it all the way to the museum and sat up in the top of the museum, up in the back room. Like 1 minute later, I'm just like, dude, could you just go away? So the guy comes into the building and up on the stairs, right? And he's just like scuffling around on the stairs. So I ended up voicing him. I don't know whether I'd vote off or just thing. And I was like, man, can you just go away? Like, do you really have to do this? Like, seriously? So long story short, we're just like in this standoff. I like threatened to come out and he shoots and I'm like, come back in and da da da. So you're in the classic like Tarkov corridor type of fight. I pull the grenade, put it straight back in, like trying to like bait the guy. It was probably like 5 minutes of just back and forth with trying to,
The classic
get him to
standoff. The
the
Tarkov
classic
standoff.
Tarkov standoff. Yeah. Especially with the new nades. You can't you pull the nade out, but
Right.
the guy can push you before, like it's too short. I did a whole segment yesterday on the stream because we were talking about nades, just the different distances and how long. It's like it's nearly like 4 seconds or something. I think it's
Wow.
5 seconds before the nade goes off, but you've got 3 seconds once the sound activates. You've got 2.5 more or 3 seconds before your gun actually comes back out. So they have to be at a certain distance, otherwise they could just push into you and kill you. But obviously you can take the grenade out and then put it straight back away again. That only takes 1 second. So by the time they've heard, it's too late. So I managed to like fake him out a few times, had a fight down in the stairwell, and then in the end he like came back to the corridor, and I managed to strafe out and clip him around the doorway and hit him in the head. And that was like one of the best feelings, because I was just like, man, this guy at best, this guy is stream sniping me hard. At worst, like, he's got ESP or something like that. I mean, it's not out of the question.
Yeah.
But that was very satisfying. I killed him with the AK-12, looted all his gear and left. It's just like, yeah, there's nothing better when someone's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's just like I was just like, I do not want to die to this guy. Like,
I know that feeling.
I seriously do not want to die to this guy. Like, I'm going to be so upset if I die to this guy.
That's like me in Deadlock when I die and the enemy player like teasbag me. He's like, God, I do not want to lose this game now.
Yeah.
It's like team, we got to band together.
Yeah. We have to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was certainly an interesting one. But yeah, other than that, it's been all right. I've had some serious ones, just like running along outside Pinewood Hotel, and I get clipped by a guy running. It's the Mosin, and he hit me in the neck with what even was it? I think it was SP or something.
SP, like bow
Because
ammo?
No, this is
AK.
with the Mosin. This is SPBT.
Oh, he hit you with the most. I thought you had the most.
He hit me with the Mosin. No, he hit me with the Mosin. And that one hits like a very specific breakpoint because it's 31 pen and 92 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So if it hits, because typically now, right, it's like, well, 31 pen. If you're wearing a class 4 helmet, that won't go through. If you're wearing a class 3 helmet, it will kill you. But if you're wearing an armor with class 3 neck protection on it, it won't kill you because of the damage reduction, but because the throat goes to the thorax now. If you're wearing a class 2, 31 pen is enough to go through without any damage reduction, and 92 actually just deletes your thorax as well.
Yeah.
So SP is like this specific breakpoint. The guy shot me in the thorax, and I'm not sure if I was even wearing any soft armor actually, but it just like one shot my thorax, even though I was wearing class 4, because he hit the throat hitbox instead. I was like, damn it. I mean, he could have just hit me in the head, so that's the other possibility. It just makes the head hitbox slightly bigger, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had that one. I've had a couple of ones like people are just like completely stationary. There's a lot of ratting, obviously, a lot of people being like not moving, not going around. I mean, I've killed my fair share of people also doing the same thing. Just because, like, what else are you supposed to do, right? There's time it's because I end up in a really annoying spawn. I've spawned quite a lot on streets at that really awful one. You know, the one that's like
which one? I feel like there's a lot of them.
Well, in particular, the one by Car Extract. It's near the
You
It's like
spawn like
kind of closer to
inside
Caban.
a
You
clothing
spawn in the
store.
corridor bit. Not that one. No, no. This is the
Oh.
other one. This is the one near Caban. So
Oh, you're talking
where
about.
if you were at the car extract and you were looking at the map,
Hmm.
you can spawn down that corridor on the left
Oh yeah, like where the
towards Concordia.
garage place is at.
Yeah, there's like the big garage bit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
it's a little bit before that. But the issue is, it's just like, what are
Where
your options from that
right.
spawn? Where
Yeah,
do
no,
you
that spawn
go? It's like
sucks. Yeah.
there's like three spawns that way towards cinema.
Right.
There's an entirely open road
Hmm.
which somebody can also spawn like down that road, which is I think on one of them I like ran. I was like, I'm just going to peg it across the road and get to the pharmacy. But then there was like literally someone running. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
okay, I have to turn around. Okay, what's the other one? Well, Caban has got a 70% spawn rate,
Right.
so I can't walk anywhere near that street, otherwise I'm getting grenade launched. So the only other option is to go back towards Concordia, but there's a spawn down there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It
it's like,
feels
what am I
like
supposed to like?
you're incentivized to just camp, right?
Yeah, and I killed a guy there. I actually had two fights there. One of them, I basically kind of went towards Concordia and just like camped the guy who was going to be there on Concordia. I actually didn't kill him, and I ended up running the other way and getting out that way. Another guy came around the corner, and I think I must have made him like to himself. Honestly, it was I was like I was round the corner of the little blue fence, and he like was 3 meters away, and I just like popped down and just killed him from point blank. It's just like annoying. And so I looted his stuff. I went to Concordia, and then I got killed by a guy waiting blank in the little corridor bit in Concordia. It's just like, and it's just, what are you supposed to do, right? And so many
Yeah.
people are just around. Factories sort of the same, and you spawn somewhere, and you're like, well, I don't want to just run about. Like Tegila's here as well. You kill one person, you run into the next room, and there's someone behind a pillar there with the gun. Like everyone's got uber gear fear as well, because
Yeah. It
like
almost like
I've built up
compounds
enough
on
stuff.
itself.
I've built up enough stuff at the moment that it's like okay-ish. But I had a death the other day, and I was like, oh no, I've actually like run out of like things, just like general use things. It's
Hmm.
like I'm gonna have to go and buy a headset and like buy a new weapon and buy a new rig. I'm just like 350k deep on like a basic budget kit. It's just like, oh my god, this hurts. It's painful. You look at your money. Someone asked me the other day, like, oh, how much money do you need to feel comfortable in this wipe? And I was just like, well, you basically need at least to be actually comfortable. You need at least a mil, but like even then, like 3 bad beats where you have to buy a full kit, like it's gone.
Take
Like it's
whatever you
expensive to buy the whole
used to
kit.
have feel comfortable with. Let's say it's a mil, multiply by 3. That's the number.
Probably, like you probably only feel okay-ish with 3 mil-ish, but then like at that point you're probably buying a scav junk box. So you're
Mm.
just going to be poor forever. Like everyone's
Hmm.
just poor constantly, which is not bad, honestly. It's not actually a bad thing. It's sort of good in some ways, but yeah, it's rough, right? It's rough. It makes you make tricky decisions, but it does make the gameplay a bit slower, a bit more ratty. Like people take every advantage.
Yeah.
There's less sort of
Makes
just
sense.
throwaway games. Even the budget kits are expensive, so yeah, it's just a symptom of the way that the wipe's gone, which is it is what it is. I don't blame anybody for doing it as in certain situations, because like with the sport, once all of the mechanics interact together in such a way that you're just like, I have no options here. There's nothing smart I can do. The only thing other than doing this is running as fast as I can and hope I don't die, which doesn't feel very smart when your kit's worth like
Yeah.
300k.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about the transits because
Mm.
they're still in the game, but we've kind of we've long moved away from. Like, I highly doubt, looking towards 1.0, I highly doubt they're gonna do something similar like that in 1.0, just because of the reception and really the execution of it. What I'm talking about is like this idea of like transit only Tarkov, or like primary, like maybe 1.0 comes out, it's like, okay, you got to do the quest line. If you want to unlock customs, you got to go from like here to you know you got to go from ground zero to streets, and then you got to talk to therapists there, and here's your legendary cutscene you all been waiting for, and then you can go see Ski or whoever at customs. I mean, I just don't know if that's really going to be. I don't know. What are your thoughts? 1.0 transits.
I mean, my thoughts are the reason why they're pushing this so much is because the story doesn't work without it.
What
That's
story?
my impression. The whatever's coming with 1.0, whatever idea
Yeah.
they have, whatever untested thing they're going to put through
Uh huh.
for 1.0, which, as I've said a few times, is going to clearly work flawlessly. I think they have to get it to work. I think because of the plans that they have 1.0, I think it has to work.
The
I'm a big. I mean,
transits.
I'm worried about it. Yeah, I'm concerned about it. Like, I think you're going to start with nothing or something and have to like find. I think it's going to be quite different. I think you're going to have to like
Really?
maybe they won't do it, but I think you're going to have to. I think you're going to start on ground zero with like nothing, and you have to go from one place to another. And maybe they won't. Maybe they'll change their mind. I'm not sure.
Like you don't even get a hide. You don't even get like a
But
stash or something. Like you have
I,
to go find your hideout, basically.
yeah, I don't know. I'm actually not sure. Maybe
It could
I'm not sure. I
happen.
don't know about. Yeah, I don't know about finding the stash in the hideout. I think you will probably have to find the maps or find the traders before they appear.
Oh,
Something along those lines.
yeah. Like you gotta slowly unlock. I could see that. I could see that.
Maybe. Yeah, but or before you can like perm travel to a map, you have to like go there and unlock it, kind of thing. You have to do something. You have to either do a mission there, or you have
every,
to extract through.
every time you die, you respawn back at ground zero. God, it sounds awful.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like that's why they're so dead set on making this work, though,
Hmm.
because otherwise, I don't know how you direct, some kind of main storyline quest without that in some format. I mean, maybe it's optional. Maybe it ends up becoming a sort of transit quest line like they are in the game right now, so you can kind of opt in. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure this has probably been a good thing for them to see people not really liking it the way that it's implemented. And by not really liking it, it's a very nice way of putting absolutely detest it.
I mean, yeah. It feels
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
just the queue times. People just feel like it's a waste of time, such a
Yeah,
waste of
that's the
time.
thing. It feels like it could be something, but just the way Tarkov is structured and how the game
Mhm.
works, it's not very palatable. I guess like it feels very bad.
I'd be okay with it if you could fuss with your stash for the whole thing.
I think they
Like
should
half
do
the
like
thing you're
checkpoints in between.
loading, yeah, and all the checkpoints or something, so you can, yeah, kind of, or even maybe have mini stashes between the maps, stuff like this. But
Yeah,
they need to make the work way better. Like you either need to be able to do something while you're loading. The load time needs to be way faster.
like it's just so
It's just,
unreasonable
yeah.
for someone to expect me to go play 4 hours straight. Going from like here to here to here to here on like
Hmm.
when previous like especially when like no really no game asks you to do that. Like I was thinking like, oh, Daisy Rust, but like it's completely optional if you want to play 4 hours straight. You know what I mean? Like the game doesn't say, okay, to unlock this you have to play. I mean, not literally. It doesn't literally say that. Okay, now I'm like talking myself out of my own argument here, but you know what I mean.
The
It's like
ramifications of their mechanics make it such that you have to.
exactly like if you want to progress, you have to go from ground zero to the lighthouse, and you have to use the transit every time, and then you have to sit in queue every time. Like it's a pure continuous action. Like it would be so much more reasonable if like I could transit and then like go halfway and be like, okay, I need to go, you know, do the laundry or whatever, and then come back and then
Yeah.
pop my queue, and maybe I siphon off. I mean, yeah, you already get to do that. You get to siphon off a little bit later to your thing, but I
I
don't
could
know.
almost see them if they want to tone it down and make it sensible. Maybe the quests are optional. There's only one step usually, like right at the beginning. I mean, it does make it kind of like right at the beginning of the game. Yeah, you have to go to a map and transit there, and once you transit to there once, you unlock the map screen. But that's like a one-time thing. It hardly makes any difference to the gameplay. Maybe that matters for people who haven't played and the
Hmm.
1.0 experience. I mean, for veterans, it's going to just be of no consequence, right? Maybe that's how it'll end up being. I don't know. I mean,
I
yeah, I'm worried that they just take it to being like really awful.
Yeah, I could see another scenario. Remember how they talked about terminal, and correct if I'm wrong, but terminal being like the final location of the game, and it's going to be like
Mm,
a solo single player esque type of
kind of,
game
yeah.
gameplay. I could see them having a new map, like maybe they'd convert Ground Zero, but like it's basically that. Like that's the starter quest line that you do, and then through that you unlock the next map, and then that's like customs or something, and then through that and it's
Mm,
like you slowly kind of like, and you get a couple traders, like it's and that's like their way of setting up the game, and then you have all the quests that we currently have. That system kind of gets integrated into that. I could see something like that, and that's
maybe,
like how you would
yeah,
use the transits maybe, but then they would be like a one-off type thing.
yeah. And I think that's okay. Like Terminal is almost certainly not going to be a queuable map. It'll be like
Yeah.
that's probably what Labyrinth was about, partly. testing out what happens with terminal. And if it's a single player thing, that actually makes it even better because really.
Because what?
So you go from, because there won't be any matching if it's single player.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you go from shoreline, and then you have to get the special card and da da da, and then you end up going to terminal, and it's its own instance. You have to transit from shoreline. Like, and that's the thing. As a one-off, honestly, okay. And even the quest lines that are start on this map, kill some things, go to this map, kill some more things. That's okay. Doing the transit one time for a quest is okay. It's opt-in. You don't feel like you have to spend 3 hours in game. It's 2 raids back to back. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
You know, those are fine, and they're optional. You don't feel like you're forced. But at the beginning of this wipe, it's like everyone's forced to do, you know, what the restrictions with the game.
Mm-hmm.
You end up just playing the same map over and over. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. But the problem is BSG has now run out of runway. This is it. There's no more testing. Whatever they've come to, whatever conclusions they've come to about transits or whatever, they got to release 1.0 now in the next wipe. So it's a shame that they did. If this was instrumental to the way that 1.0 was going to work, it's a shame that they started trying it so late. I know eventually, I think it's because their plans changed and they were originally going to do open world, and they no, we actually can't do it anymore. And then they stopped focusing on it. They were just focusing on getting the maps out. And then like, oh crap, actually, we do sort of need a mechanic to fit these together. And started doing the transits, but they were kind of broken. But then it wasn't really priority because people weren't really using them, so it wasn't breaking the game. So they've kind of left it. And it's like, oh, now we're going to try it this wipe, and then they've done it, and everyone hates it with their current implementation. Not like it's not to say that it's always going to be bad, but there's no more tests now. There's no more big player based tests.
I mean, surely there's a super secret, ultra, uber elite circle where you have to like do a cultist sacrifice to get in, and you know they take you to a warehouse, the warehouse you were talking about earlier with the balaclava in the basement, no windows, you know, and you get to play there. I mean, surely they've done something like this, right? Or going to.
I don't think so. From
I mean,
what
you
I've
can't talk about it if you're in it because you know
oh
they're
yeah,
gonna
of
get you.
course, of course. From what I understand, I don't think anybody outside of BSG has played anything to do with any of the other stuff. I can't remember even where I heard that. But I mean, maybe that's just rumor. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not aware of even the slightest inkling of anybody having had any information about what's coming with 1.0 at all from the creator community or anything like that. And I mean that really does worry me. And I've talked about this many times on this cast. That genuinely worries me because they don't catch things.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, but they don't. And they're not. I'm not expecting them to either.
yeah,
Like it would be unreasonable to expect them to. They just can't. I know they have QA and stuff, but that's mainly to crash. It's not necessarily about like game balance or game feel or whatever. And some of these things you can only tell 100,000 queuing into the map.
mm-hmm.
So you can't tell some of these like the larger implications of the player base and emergent player behavior. Like that only happens with the system, kind of by definition. So you can't test it as well. That's why it worries me. It's like there's going to be unforeseen problems that none of us even maybe could think about. Some things it's easy to go in hindsight. Oh well, they should.
Right.
Some of it's harder to predict than others. Some things are like some things are don't think I'm letting BSG off. Some things are obvious, but some things are also not obvious. You know, some of the interactions around the economy,
Yeah.
around the flea, around the way that works, and around the way certain things work in game. Like there's these things are like complicated topics that people in real life struggle with.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a bit more controlled in the game environment, but you've got people doing stuff. You've got your code and here's all the items set up, and it's a there's only so many actions you can take. So it's less complicated than the real world, but people's behaviors are complicated. And you can't always predict exactly how that's going to emerge out of the bigger system, an ecosystem of tens of thousands of people. How that's going to interact, it's hard to figure out sometimes. Even just little things like veteran players have overlooked the map button for a million years. The map and goes, oh, I can circumvent the restriction. Just little things that you just wouldn't think of unless there's 20,000 eyes on the subject.
Right.
Like, would I have noticed that if I was a QA tester? Almost certainly, because I've spent so long playing the game that the map button effectively didn't even exist for me anymore.
But
because I know it's useless. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like it's the things that that then subsequently become not true that are the most dangerous. You think you know it, but there's something different about the functionality that means you don't even test it.
Mm-hmm.
Like testing things that you already know is one of those things. It's like people don't do, but sometimes you should do because stuff changes without you knowing behind your knowledge. So you've got this like false sense of security of like, oh well, this is how this works. But it's like when people ask me about mechanics and stuff, and I'm like, well, the last time I tested it was this. Since then, who knows? Like anything could have changed since I last tested. I
Yeah.
have no idea. But this is based on like the last piece of knowledge that I have about the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit concerned about the track and how they're going to be implemented, but
Yeah, I
it
mean,
could be fine.
it could. I mean, I'm kind of at a point where I don't expect anything grand. Like, I'm gonna like check it out, but like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like I've gotten my like respectfully. I just don't care enough. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've
Yeah.
gotten my enjoyment out of Tarkov for like however many years, like 4 to 5 years or whatever. You know what I mean? And like, I definitely wanted the game to be something, but I had to come to terms like, okay, well, the game's not what I want it to be, but that's okay. It's still like, it's still like a fun game. Like, it's got value in that. And yeah, just whatever 1.0 is, like, it's, okay. Like, I fully expect it to be, Tarkov, like jank, very confusing, very obtuse, but very punishing as well.
Questionable design decisions.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
like still like some part of me that just like can't let it go, it's just like, okay, yeah, this is Eurojank, but let them cook, all right? There's something here, you know what I mean?
It's still the most compelling on the market. There's a reason. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, next up, I guess, is who's coming next on level 2. I presumably they're going to release the next batch. I would imagine at some point. That means we'll then be able to progress with the hideout.
Yeah, I was gonna say mechanics got to be on the radar, right?
I would think so. Yeah, mechanic, ragman, peacekeeper.
So what's still
Those are the
Peacekeeper?
main guys.
Because you can't buy USD. Is that still the case?
Yes, that is still the case, which is a bit of a bummer because peacekeeper he is currently 30. He's the highest requirement of all spent. He's 33,000 US dollars, which is equivalent of like 4.8 million. Which in the context of selling items for 10k, and the fact that when you sell them to him, it ends up in USD, which you can only use with him, but he's only level 1, so you can't really buy anything useful.
Yeah.
It's hard to level him up. I doubt many people, even if they release Peacekeeper 2 tomorrow, I doubt that many people would have access to him. And I don't think people have, like, I had enough money to just like force through Prapor and Jaeger. I doubt many people have enough money. I don't think people have the resources Peacekeeper unless
What is
you've been
even
like focusing on him the whole time.
what does he even have level 2 that's like, doesn't he have like I'm trying to think what some of the useful stuff he had. I guess no, because that's on one, right? 20 round SKS mags. There's probably like
Mm.
some sight or laser. I guess there's like a G36. I think it's the stock standard one though.
Can you buy the M4 at that point, or is it just barter? I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, I think you can buy the M4 straight cash. Yeah,
Level 2 last time. Yeah, it was $650. That was the old one, the M4.
it's pretty expensive.
Pretty expensive. So I guess for comparison, the AUG, which
Oh,
used to
that's it. The
be
AUG.
$544,
Uh huh.
which is already quite a lot, right? That's like 80k. The AUG is now 1,056, so that's doubled in price. So the AUG, if you want to buy the AUG at level 1 Peacekeeper, that costs you around 150k equivalent. So at level 2, if they do the same with the M4, the M4 is going to end up being about 1,300 US, which is about 20,000 rubles equivalent
Yikes.
for a standard M4. Obviously, it makes the barter look a lot better, right? 3 CPUs and a CPU fan.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This is the thing, the barters are way better. The barters are super good value. But
That
because you can't
is.
buy the items from the fleet, the barters end up working out. You can buy the Untar rig from him, the G36, silenced MPX, barter the P90, you can buy the MP5SD. But obviously, you've got to do some quests for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of these are like quest locked, but
Yeah. You buy the Delta Point. You can buy a lot more nice little dots.
gear, get Untar
Delta Point
armor,
T1. Yeah.
beta
The
container.
ammo, though, is nothing to write home about. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to get that. That's just impossible. It's like, that's genuinely impossible. It's like, what is it now? Like 3 vertexes or something? It's something crazy.
Yeah.
Something absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So he's, there's a couple of suppressors as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can buy the ump suppressor from him. The ACOG.
Yeah. 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 There's a
So
few
there's
things.
some bits. There's some bits. Skier's also got things like the Prism. He's got like some cheap sites which are quite useful, the Prism
Yeah.
and things like that. And Ragman's got the class 4 armor, so that's going to be the next stage, I think. I think now that they've opened up ref, I think there's not really any harm in that up. I was hoping that they'd keep class 4 wraps for a while, but
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of whatever. And I think at this point of the web, it's kind of okay. Most people are running class 4 time. I would say, like not most people actually. But that's a lie. I would say there's like the experienced player base has kind of found a way to run class 4 like in their bigger raids.
Yeah.
If you're not boss farming, that is. If you're not just like a boss grinder, there is still you usually find enough between scavs, between quest rewards, between finding them in caches. Like I found max and things like that, and I've like min max them on cleat plates and things to try and space them out a bit, that kind of thing. So there are ways, but yeah, most people are probably class 2 and 3, I would think, most people. But then the experienced player base is probably on class 4.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, so that's what's coming next. That's what's coming next, and hopefully they don't put ref to level 3.
Oh,
I don't think you could even unlock to level 3. Actually, to be fair, I have. Oh dear.
hopefully they put
Like,
ref on level 3.
no, hopefully they don't put ref to
Oh,
level
don't
3
put.
soon.
Okay, I was like, wait a
Yeah,
minute. Giga.
because then you can be able to buy your M80s.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
need 0.5 rep. I've got 5.6 already.
who needs to buy M80s when they have from a bunch from my? I'm sorry, I just that's a bannable
Exactly.
offense.
Exactly.
Mods permaban me.
No, no.
Someone shoot that person. Yeah, that's funny.
Yep.
All right. I mean, yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Sounds like I like the barter stuff. How that's like increased in value. That feels really good. I think that's cool. And progressions
I
is
do
like,
think no flea's working in that way. Yeah, it's interesting. It's just like when you make the barter so much better value than the trader purchase, the money
yeah,
is valuable for being able to buy what you'd like, but it's worth
exactly.
less than doing the barters. So that's like the perfect situation.
I think so.
So I don't know. I'm sure there's lessons to be taken out of this. I mean, it's almost worth. It's almost worth talking about. It's almost worth having a video about like
I
the good
think
stuff on this.
I'm very curious because I'm pretty sure there's like some barter hideout shenanigans that was like never relevant before that might be relevant now because of the way the entire conglomerate of Tarkov's systems are going to be working this hardcore wipe. I think, anyways, like one that comes to mind is maybe, and there's some few minor things, but like for example, a power supply unit sells for like nothing, but the caps sell for more because you get like 7 of them from breaking them down. And now I wonder if like you take you get some caps, and then now you use it as a barter. Like, what's the it's like you took 400 rubles and like transmutated it into like a Makarov pistol that's worth whatever. Like, I think that's really interesting because you could use like
Yeah.
hideout to like supplement, like fill in the gaps a little bit. But it's like
Mm.
it's almost like how money is like universal.
Mhm.
Whereas like you take like caps for example, it's like, okay, I can sell them for rubles, or like I can put them in a craft, or like I could put them in a craft to put them towards a barter. It's like not just a single thing. Like, oh, this is used for X and that's it. It's like this is used
Yeah.
for various things, but it's not universal like money is. So I like
Exactly.
the dichotomy between there, where it's like you got utility in a lot of different areas, not everything like money, but then you do have the money for stuff like that with the
Yeah, it's
traders, I
like
guess.
it's fascinating, right? Because like so Peacekeeper One, the M4, for example, the CPU, there's 3 CPUs and 1 CPU fan that you need for it. But if you get to Peacekeeper 2 and it ends up being like 200K's equivalent of dollars, when you're finding, as long as you're finding them in the right ratios, you can mentally think about a CPU. If you would, let's put it this way: you don't want to be like running a false. But if you were going to
Right.
spend 200,000 rubles just for argument's sake on an M4, you can think to yourself that the CPU fans and the CPUs are each worth 50K.
Yeah, which
They've
is
got
kind of
huge value per
crazy.
slot to you, right?
Yeah,
But it's only value per slot. You can't ever make that cash appear,
yeah,
but you can make your cash stop disappearing at that rate. Because if you were going to buy the M4, you would be down 200k. But now that you've done the barter, you've got 200k extra, and you're down the
yeah. That's
items.
true.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the end result is the same,
Right,
but
right.
it's like you look at the starting condition and the end condition, and it's just like, okay, I have 200,000 rubles. Like, what's the difference between? So a player has a stash and a load of items, and they end up with an M4, and they've got 200,000 less rubles. Versus players got a stash of items plus the barter items. At the end of it, they end up with an M4 and not those items, but with 200,000 rubles extra. The end state, you actually couldn't distinguish between those two, right? So the route to getting there basically valued those items at 200,000 rubles.
Yes, but this is where it gets even deeper. What if there's an opportunity cost of them upgrading their Bitcoin farm or whatever for those CPU fans? They had to make a choice. Do I take this M4 into raid, or do I sit in my stash while I mine Bitcoins?
Yeah, so there's other considerations too.
A little bit.
A little
Not quite. The Bitcoin farm example a little extreme, but it
Yeah,
is cool though.
especially it's a bit out of reach for most people, but no, it's good. Like
Yeah,
the barter thing is working really well. Without the fleet, it makes sense because with the fleet, it's just money in another guy's.
right.
I
I
don't
mean,
want to open this right now. It's probably too big of a topic. Maybe we talk
for
about it next
sure,
week. But
but
like,
it would be
but
really cool to have a marriage of it because I can totally see the value in the flea market, but like it's
I love the fleet, but I hate what it does to the
unregulated.
game.
It's
And
just like, yeah, it kind of like
it
takes away from these aspects that we're getting to experience right
exactly.
now.
So the question is, how do you make it so that it works in a way that doesn't just become money in another sense?
Right.
So I don't know. You probably can't have barter items on there for a start. But yeah, well, maybe we'll think about that next week. I'll write it down so we don't forget.
Cool.
I'll have a think about it. Next week,
Next week. And
Flea still has a place? Question mark, question mark. That should do.
and with that, we'll close it here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate you listening, and we'll see you next week.
Catch you later.